Welcome to Whisperer of Madness. If you're enjoying the story, consider liking the video and subscribing. It really helps grow the channel and this community. Why are these words so small? Zhu Xuanji furrowed his brow. He strained his eyes, but his vision remained blurry. After all, flames were blazing at the time, blocking a lot and distorting the view. Ning Xiaohui's handwriting was so small and embedded within the ice, making it unclear, which was quite normal. This was tricky. For Zhu Xuanji, if he had a physical object in front of him, he could easily get to the truth with a sweep of his divine sense. But all he saw was an effect produced by combined talent and spells. He couldn't do better. Couldn't she have written it larger? Ning Xiaohui knew she was certain to die and used all her strength to make ice bricks, hoping they would be preserved. This is possible. After all, Ice Jade Hands specializes in turning despair into hope. But in the end, the ice bricks didn't remain. Talent is not divine skill. Thinking of this, a glint of sharpness flashed in Zhu Xuanji's eyes. Ning Xiaohui seemed overly cautious. And if she wanted to leave a clue, why didn't she directly speak the truth when facing Zhang Xuangu's mana avatar? One possibility exists. Ning Xiaohui discovered some crucial detail after saying goodbye to Zhang Xuangu, or she suddenly figured something out. Another possibility is that Ning Xiaohui, driven by a desire for revenge before her death, twisted her mind, attempting to frame her enemy out of spite. And another possibility. In Ning Xiaohui's view, Zhang Xuangu was not trustworthy. Or, she preferred to report to me directly rather than inform a golden core cultivator first. Zhu Xuanji's thoughts raced, various possibilities flitting through his mind. There were too many possibilities. After considering for a while, he dismissed his chaotic thoughts. It can be confirmed, Sun Lingtong is the murderer of Ning Xiaohui. And he also possesses the cremation Prajna Spirit Liberation Sutra. Zhu Xuanji saw this scene clearly in the second vision. The cremation Prajna Spirit Liberation Sutra. As recorded in the Royal Secrets, this Buddhist scripture can be used to free spirits, refining spirituality. Sun Lingtong mastering this scripture is a profound proof of Bukong sect's deep infiltration into the Magma Fairy Palace. Bukong sect. Zhu Xuanji gritted his teeth. Due to today's events, he felt unprecedented hatred towards Bukong sect. Calm down, stay calm. Anger is useless. The wisest decision now is to find Meng Qi. Zhu Xuanji forced himself to stabilize his mood, waving his arm to collect all the silver furnace fragments on the scene. Even though he couldn't clearly see Ning Xiaohui's last testimony, it didn't matter, he had other methods. You clean up the battlefield and gather as many clues as possible. I need to leave the palace and talk with Meng Qi. Before leaving, Zhu Xuanji noticed Ning Zhu looking at him eagerly. Oh, right. Protect him. He was a pawn arranged by Bukong sect. Now he has repented and turned over a new leaf. The three golden pill ancestors. Zhu Xuanji, Ning Zhu is a very important witness. Make sure to protect his life at all costs. The three golden core cultivators quickly nodded in agreement. In the next moment, Zhu Xuanji soared into the sky, leaving Ning Zhu to face the stares of the golden core cultivators alone. Ning Zhu, being sensible, immediately ran to Ning Jiufan. Ancestor, ancestor, Ning Jiufan snorted coldly. Tell us everything you know. Though his expression was stern, he still extended his arm, pulling Ning Zhu to his side. Ning Zhu had already prepared his speech, a carefully crafted one, originally meant for the second line of defense. Now, with slight modifications, he could present it to the three golden core cultivators. The golden pill ancestors pricked up their ears, listening intently. Zhu Xuanji hadn't heard it yet, but they already knew. Now Zhu Xuanji flew away, once again leaving the Immortal Palace. Outside the palace, the red flame demon beasts raged, their attacks becoming more frantic, but with Meng Qi's assistance, Zhu Xuanji left smoothly. Zhu Xuanji flew straight towards Meng Qi. Meng Qi City Lord, I have important information regarding the recent upheaval in the Magma Fairy Palace, Zhu Xuanji said directly. Meng Qi, Lord Zhu, please enlighten me. Although he was of nascent soul level, Zhu Xuanji represented the royal family, thus they spoke as equals. Zhu Xuanji then informed Meng Qi about Ning Zhu's confession and his speculation that Bukong sect was the mastermind. Meng Qi was shocked, remaining silent for a while before speaking. What a Bukong sect. Infiltrating the Magma Fairy Palace right under my nose with malicious intentions, inciting a golden core brawl. Now, they've murdered Ning Xiaohui and destroyed the Historical Records Pavilion to eliminate evidence. If they could bombard the Historical Records Pavilion, then the sudden assault on Fire Persimmon Mountain by the Five Elements turret, which triggered a horde of demon beasts, must also be their handiwork. Risking the lives of thousands in the city, indeed they are an evil sect and demon cultivators. Zhu Xuanji, this is just my conjecture with no solid evidence. Meng Qi smiled. Lord Zhu's case analysis is naturally trustworthy to me. Zhu Xuanji looked deeply at Meng Qi, expressing his intention. Since Bukong's sect is the disruptive third party, acting so outrageously, it is only sensible for us to fully cooperate and remove them first. Meng Qi nodded. Of course. Lord Zhu, what do you propose? Zhu Xuanji spoke eloquently. Meng Qi smiled. Lord Zhu makes a good point. If Bukong's sect actually succeeds in stealing the palace master's position, both the royal family and my Meng family will lose all face. I will also reaffirm my sincerity. I promise, regardless of who among us ultimately becomes the palace master, all of our current positions within the Magma Fairy Palace will remain unchanged. Once the matter of the palace is settled, any changes in positions will follow court rules. What do you say? Zhu Xuanji's pupils contracted, his heart jolted. Good Meng Qi, this is blatant manipulation. No, perhaps someone within the three families has already secretly contacted Meng Qi. Zhu Xuanji could entice the Zhou, Zhang, and Ning families. As the city lord, backed by the Meng family, Meng Qi naturally had similar means. It was merely tit for tat. In this situation, Zhu Xuanji had no choice but to agree and go with the flow. Soon, they reached a cooperation agreement. Both Zhu Xuanji and Meng Qi belonged to the Southern Bean Country, part of the same faction. Previously, although they considered each other primary rivals, they maintained their competition, always keeping it from breaking into open conflict. Therefore, teaming up at this moment was without obstacles. Zhu Xuanji and Meng Qi both hoped to eliminate Bukong's sect, leaving the position of palace master between their factions. If Bukong's sect succeeded, both the royal Zhu family of the Southern Bean Country and the influential Meng family would become laughingstocks, thus deeply humiliated. This was something they both couldn't accept. After signing the agreement, Zhu Xuanji took out a jade slip and handed it to Meng Qi. The contents of the jade slip were the evidence, clues, and speculations he had gathered. The most critical part was the three scenes Zhu Xuanji saw at the site of the Silver Furnace ruins. Meng Qi held the jade slip, slowly closing his eyes as the nascent soul-level aura surged, beginning to fully perform the calculation method. For a moment, secrets overflowed and smoke billowed. Some of Meng Qi's hair instantly turned white from frost, and when he opened his eyes, exhaustion showed on his face. Calculation often consumed the most precious resource in the world, life. This time, Meng Qi's calculations were no exception. However, Zhu Xuanji had already promised to compensate for the lifespan consumed in Meng Qi's calculations using life-lengthening Ganoderma from the royal treasury. Zhu Xuanji, did you find anything? Meng Qi nodded slightly. I found 4 clues: Ningzhuo, Sun Lingtong, Zheng Danlian, and the Golden Furnace. For a moment, Zhu Xuanji frowned deeply. He could fully understand the appearance of Ningzhuo and Sun Lingtong. But why were Zheng Danlian and the Golden Furnace there? Zheng Danlian was one of the 2 golden core cultivators in the Zheng family, and the Golden Furnace was the highest-grade artifact refining furnace in the Magma Fairy Palace. Why would these 2 clues be mentioned by Ning Xiaohui before her death? Meng Qi interrupted Zhu Xuanji's thoughts. Of the 4 clues, Ningzhu is the easiest to investigate. In my opinion, grab him and perform a soul search. Ningzhu was only in the qi refinement realm, easy to handle. The only complication was Ning Jiufan's thoughts. Zhu Xuanji did not hesitate, directly shaking his head to refuse. Inappropriate. Ningzhu is indeed involved with Bukong's sect, but I have already made him confess voluntarily. He is my man and will be of great use in the future. Meng Qi smiled slightly, not annoyed by the refusal. Lord Zhu is a divine hunter, naturally more adept at solving cases and chasing down enemies than I am. I shall wait and see. Zhu Xuanji then parted ways with Meng Qi. Watching Zhu Xuanji's departing figure, Meng Qi's eyes turned cold. Zhu Xuanji seems unaware that the dragon turtle fire spirit has already developed a rebellious heart. However, it won't be long now. Bukong's sect, HMPH. Meng Qi didn't pay much attention. After all, only 1 golden core true transmission and 1 foundation establishment stage outer disciple from Bukong's sect had been deployed. If a nascent soul-level cultivator from Bukong sect appeared, it would be a completely different matter. Therefore, although Meng Qi noticed Bukong sect as a third-party force that had been lurking, he remained calm and did not hasten to act personally. Subdue with calmness. Let Zhu Xuanji investigate Bukong sect. Taking up some of his time and energy is also good. With that thought, Meng Qi sent a message to order his cultivators in the palace to strive for as many key positions as possible. At the same time, he ordered his trusted subordinates to contact the dragon turtle fire spirit at all costs. Zhu Xuanji flew back to the magma fairy palace. Along the way, his brows furrowed, his gaze deep. If Ningzhu hadn't confessed voluntarily, in the current situation, he would have considered it and hesitated, whether to perform a soul search on Ningzhu. But now, Ningzhu had just turned over a new leaf and was immediately subjected to a soul search. The consequences of a soul search were severe, ranging from memory loss to insanity. Anyone with a bit of political acumen wouldn't do such a foolish thing, let alone Zhu Xuanji. Now I have formed an alliance with the three families, creating a rift with the Zheng family. If I perform a soul search on Ningzhu, it will alienate the Ning family as well. Meng Qi suggesting a soul search on Ningzhu. He is merely a low-level qi refining cultivator and an outer pawn recruited by Bukong sect. What can he possibly know? Moreover, Meng Qi himself is suspicious. Zhu Xuanji calculated the time. When the hole appeared in the magma fairy palace, Meng Qi did not immediately intervene. Although the three golden core cultivators sent urgent flying messages for help, without Meng Qi's protection, the messages would be attacked and destroyed by the ever-present red flame demon beasts as soon as they left the palace. So, Meng Qi deliberately suppressed the spread of the message and did not immediately safeguard it, causing me to receive it very late. The Meng family's ambition to seize the Magma Fairy Palace is too strong. Magma Fairy Palace, main hall. Ah! The dragon turtle fire spirit suddenly screamed, waking up from a nightmare. Instinctively, it reached out and touched its head. Still there, it relaxed, realizing it hadn't been destroyed. It survived, a being like it had no real vital points. So being beheaded and having its limbs severed were almost the same. The difference was in the amount. If too much of its spiritual nature was lost, once it reached a critical limit, the remaining spiritual nature would collapse and dissipate. Unless, in the countdown to its demise, it could continue to replenish its spiritual nature from external sources. At this moment, the dragon turtle fire spirit's body had shrunk by 1/3, leaving only 60 to 70% of its previous size. Moreover, it emitted a bright glow, much more vibrant than before. This actually proved its weakness. Previously, its foundation was deep, and its firelight was intense but restrained, giving a solid and heavy sensation. Now, although its body shone brightly, there was an air of lightness and fragility. Just then, a voice calling out like distant smoke drifted into the dragon turtle fire spirit's heart. Dragon turtle fire spirit of the Immortal Palace, only you can ignite the flames in my heart. The blaze of the fire-walking Jiao dragon, essence condensed from heaven and earth, burn everything to ashes, transforming into spiritual light. With a heart of sincerity and a sense of solemnity, I call upon you. Respond, respond. Your requests can all be discussed. I am a member of the Meng family. Please answer my call, respond to my voice. This was the Meng family cultivators, consistently and persistently trying to contact the dragon turtle fire spirit. At the same time, Ningzhu's voice also came quietly. He was more straightforward. Dragon turtle fire spirit, dragon turtle fire spirit, dragon turtle fire spirit. Ah! The dragon turtle fire spirit yelled, shaking its head vigorously. So annoying, so annoying. It retracted its dragon head into its turtle shell on the armrest of the throne. It roared in its heart. What Meng family? I don't care about them. The only one I have my eye on is Meng Chong. What Ningzhu, lesser lord? Bah. The historical records pavilion could be destroyed, thanks to me. What use are you? All you do is act. Once Zhu Xuanji fixes his gaze on you, you become demoralized and useless. I've figured it out. None of you are worth it. I still have to rely on myself. Ningzhu couldn't call out to the dragon turtle fire spirit. He followed closely behind Ning Jiufan. Ning Jiufan, being followed so closely, seemed somewhat unaccustomed and stopped to look at him. What are you doing following me so closely, you brat? Ningzhu cupped his hands, his face pale. Ancestor, I'm afraid." Earlier, after confessing his crimes to the Golden Core cultivators, Ning Zhu had drawn Ning Jiyufan's harsh scolding. But it was just scolding. After all, even Zhu Xuanji had forgiven and accepted Ning Zhu, allowing him to make amends for his crimes. The three Golden Core cultivators couldn't say much, except for Ning Jiyufan. According to the rules of the righteous path, as the head of the Ning family, Ning Jiyufan naturally had the authority to deal with Ning Zhuo, one of the Ning family members. But Ning Jiyufan only scolded him, didn't even hit him. Although his tone was extremely stern, any slightly senior righteous path cultivator could understand Ning Jiyufan's protective intent. After Zhu Xuanji left, the Golden Core cultivators discussed for a while and decided to act separately. Ning Zhu followed closely behind Ning Jiyufan. Ning Zhu said, "Ancestor, I am in great danger. Ning Xiaohui's death is just around the corner. She was of the main family line, secretly working for Lord Zhu Xuanji, and under the protection of many Golden Core cultivators. With such protection, she still died. This Bukong sect is too terrifying, too evil. I have now defected to the righteous side, and they have definitely noticed. I don't want to die. I beg you, show great mercy and save me." Ning Jiyufan snorted coldly. "You don't understand the situation at that time. The Historical Records Pavilion was the primary target. Demon beasts swarmed, and it was difficult to defend in a rush. But if not for the bombardment of the Five Elements turret, we would have succeeded." Ning Zhu spread his hands. "The Historical Records Pavilion is in ruins. This small body of mine is too weak to withstand such calamity." Ning Jiyufan, infuriated, flicked his fingers and gave Ning Zhu a knock on the head. "Ouch!" Ning Zhu clutched his head and cried out in pain. "When did the Ning family produce such a coward? Where is the spirit of our North Wind country?" Ning Jiyufan scolded angrily. Ning Zhu looked at Ning Jiyufan with hopeful eyes. "Ancestor, look at what you're saying. If I weren't afraid of death, I might have been killed by Bukong Sect's demon cultivators long ago. And as for the spirit of the North Wind country, what is that? When I was born, our Ning family had already migrated to Southern Bean country. Isn't our clan the one driven out of North Wind country?" Ning Jiyufan immediately huffed and puffed, repeatedly knocking on Ning Zhu's head, muttering, "It was our clan that voluntarily withdrew. Ning Zhu stepped back, dodging Ning Jiyufan's hits. Ancestor, stop it, or I'll become dumb." Ning Jiyufan chuckled coldly. "You still think you're not dumb. You're too cunning. You concealed your crimes. Zhu Xuanji barely had to press you before you confessed and defected. You should be a bit dumber. It would do you good." "You are called Ning Zhu. Where has your clumsiness gone?" Ning Zhu let out an ah as if realizing something. "Ancestor, you mean that Zhu Xuanji was testing me? He only suspected me and had no actual evidence." Ning Jiyufan sneered. "What do you think? Did you see him produce any evidence?" Ning Zhu widened his eyes, incredulous. "Then, this, Lord Zhu was too cunning." Ning Jiyufan coldly snorted again. Ning Zhu blinked repeatedly, looked at Ning Jiyufan and rubbed his hands. "Actually, I was mostly worried. I was afraid, but more importantly, I didn't want to bring shame to the Ning family or trouble you, ancestor." "Ha!" Ning Jiyufan's lips twitched. He still couldn't resist being amused by Ning Zhu's shameless demeanor. Ning Zhu's collusion with Bukong Sect's demon cultivators wasn't a big deal to Ning Jiyufan. He knew that the righteous path often used demon cultivators as pawns, occasionally playing the role of demon cultivators themselves. Ning Zhu's situation was merely that of a young, weakling being subtly controlled by demon sect cultivators. Even if he participated in some immortal palace bombing plots, the Magma Fairy Palace still stood, didn't it? No big deal. Now that Ning Zhu had been exposed and had broken free from Bukong Sect's control, it was a great blessing. Ning Zhu's unexpected defection to Zhu Xuanji surely put Ning Jiyufan in a passive position. But after all, one's own child must be protected. Even if they made mistakes, who among the young didn't? Just close the door and educate him properly. Once well educated, when the door opens, Ning Zhu will still be a Ning family member and potentially a pillar in the future. Ning Xiaohui was already dead, leaving Ning Zhu as the only genius in the Qi refinement realm of the Ning family. If Ning Zhu died or defected to the evil sect, the Ning family would lose an entire generation. This would be detrimental to the Ning family. Ning Jiyufan was deeply saddened by Ning Xiaohui's death. Ice Jade hands. This sorrow only strengthened his resolve to protect Ning Zhu. Zhu Xuanji returned earlier than expected. He reassembled all the golden core cultivators. I have reached an alliance with Mengqi City Lord. I am here to inform you of this good news. As he spoke, Zhu Xuanji fixed his gaze on Ning Zhuo. Among the golden core cultivators, Ning Zhuo, being in the qi refinement realm, was indeed out of place. Seeing Zhu Xuanji looking at him, Ning Zhuo quickly bowed. "Greetings, Lord Zhu." He displayed impeccable respect and etiquette. Ning Jiufan spoke. "Now, Ning Zhu is the only genius left among the younger generation of our Ning family. During this period, he will stay by my side. He committed a grave mistake. I will enforce the family laws and punish him severely." Zhu Xuanji nodded slightly, tacitly agreeing that Ning Zhuo could stay. The divine hunter secretly sighed. From Ning Jiufan's response, he sensed the Ning family's golden core's dissatisfaction. Ning Ziohui was dead. She had been working for Zhu Xuanji, and to some extent had been used as bait and sacrificed. Heartbroken, Ning Jiufan was now set on protecting Ning Zhuo, and understandably so. At this moment, Zhu Xuanji became more convinced that not performing a soul search on Ning Zhuo was the right choice. If a soul search had resulted in Ning Zhuo, the genius, being crippled, Ning Jiufan would have erupted. The Ning family differs from the Zhou family and Zheng family. They wandered here from the North Wind Country. It is said that the Ning family left North Wind Country due to dissatisfaction with its rule, decisively giving up interests and connections. Such fierceness cannot be underestimated. As the thought flashed through his mind, Zhu Xuanji officially announced that the two sides would now cooperate closely. No matter which family's cultivator secured positions in the Immortal Palace, they would retain them. This announcement brought joy to the three families' golden core cultivators. Ning Zhuo felt a sense of wonder. After exposing Sun Lingtong, he had predicted that Zhu Xuanji and Mengqi would ally. He hadn't expected Zhu Xuanji and Mengqi to cooperate to such an extent. No, Ning Zhuo suddenly realized, this wasn't Zhu Xuanji's initiative. He had already allied with the three families. There was no need for him to offer future chips for wooing. Since it wasn't him, then it was Mengqi. Why did Mengqi make such a proposal to bring the three families closer? Interesting. Ning Zhuo's eyes flashed with brilliance. It's possible that among the three families' golden core cultivators present, someone has already secretly contacted Mengqi. Who could it be? Ning Zhuo first thought of the Zheng family. Before, Zhu Xuanji wooed the three families and they formed a close alliance. It was a masterful move. But then, the ploy with the Demon Dao True Scripture, set by Ning Zhuo, triggered a chaotic golden core battle. The Zheng family killed a Taking Palace disciple, causing a rift between Zhu Xuanji and the Zheng family. The Zheng family now faces immense pressure from Taking Palace. The royal family has yet to make a statement. The Zheng family might desperately seek help due to this pressure. Aligning with the Meng family would be reasonable. Besides, the Zhou family might also be an option. Previously, if the Meng family acquired the Magma Fairy Palace, the Zhou family's interests would suffer the most. Thus, the Zhou family was the staunchest opponent of Mengqi. But if Mengqi took the initiative to compromise, privately expressing willingness to coexist with the Zhou family, previously impossible, as Mengqi looked down on a mere golden core-level power like the Zhou family. But after the three families united under Zhu Xuanji, posing a threat to Mengqi, they now held value to be divided and wooed. Zhu Xuanji utilized the three families, and they in turn used him to elevate their value. Alliances and betrayals, maneuvering with finesse, such was the intricate game of the righteous path. Ning Jiufan brought Ning Zhuo with him back to his residence. "You will stay in the side chamber." Ning Jiufan arranged Ning Zhuo's quarters close to his own, right next to his study. After settling down, Ning Zhuo was summoned by Ning Jiufan to the study. Ning Jiufan evaluated Ning Zhuo, asking him to create a few talismans in front of him. Following Ning Zhuo's drawing, Ning Jiufan scanned them with his divine sense, first nodding slightly, then shaking his head at the last two talismans. "Your talisman-making skills are quite decent, with a solid foundation, but there is still a distance from the top level." Ning Zhuo spoke. "Ancestor, talisman making has never been my preference. I'm most passionate about mechanical artifacts." "You're setting a high bar. Reaching the top level you mentioned is not easy, and it's rare even among cohorts in the academy." Ning Jiufan stared at Ning Zhuo and said sternly, "The foundation of our Ning family lies in talisman making. No matter how profound your mechanical techniques are, your skill in talisman making must not fall behind. Firstly, this is our Ning family's strength. Secondly, mechanical artifacts encompass all of the 100 cultivation skills, and talisman making is one among them. Ning Zhu immediately bowed and saluted. You are right in your teachings, ancestor. I will firmly remember it. Ning Jiufan added, you should diligently study the talisman-making insights I gave you earlier. Ning Zhu quickly assured that he would look at them whenever he found time. Ning Jiufan eyed him sharply, as Ning Zhu, this younger generation, was indeed slick in dealing differently with him. In front of Ning Jiufan, the mighty Ning family clan leader, everyone else would act with utmost reverence. Ning Zhu did not show that attitude, appearing quite unorthodox. However, Ning Jiufan did not reprimand him too much. This was because very few people would dare to address him with such an attitude. Ning Jiufan was also quite familiar with Ning Zhu's upbringing. He knew that in a way, Ning Zhu, since childhood, was not much valued by the family, akin to a wild child left to his own devices. Such an attitude from the wild child Ning Zhu could be considered understandable. On the other hand, Ning Jiufan knew well the innate talent and the brilliance in mechanical techniques of Ning Zhu. For this rising star among his juniors, there was also a sense of fondness deep within him. Thus, the disrespectful attitude of Ning Zhu, rather than merely tolerating it, Ning Jiufan found it quite straightforward. Ning Jiufan had Ning Zhu tidy up the desk and then deliberated before asking. This time, the Mengqi City Lord and Divine Hunter Zhu have jointly set a contract, agreeing among us, no matter what position one secures in the Lava Fairy Palace, it will be preserved afterward. Whoever becomes the palace master will not rescind others' positions at will. What's your view on this? What do you think our Ning family should do? Ning Zhu immediately looked up at Ning Jiufan beside him and said without hesitation, this is a great opportunity for our Ning family. If I were the Ning family head, upon hearing this news, the very next instant, I would gather all our clan members and mobilize them to compete for more positions with all their might. Ning Jiufan remained expressionless and continued to ask, and why would you do that? Ning Zhu explained, it's simple. The more positions our Ning family holds, the more control we have over the entire Lava Fairy Palace. No matter who becomes the palace master, the future Lava Fairy Palace will still be the core location of Fire Persimmon Mountain. The main function of the Lava Fairy Palace is to suppress Fire Persimmon Mountain, prevent its eruption, constantly absorb earth flames from within the mountain, and eradicate the proliferating flame demon beasts. These earth flames, flame demon beasts, and other subterranean resources are immensely vast and are great natural treasures. The more positions our Ning family holds, the more cultivation resources we can obtain from the Lava Fairy Palace. In fact, not only these tangible resources, but also the merits. Suppressing Fire Persimmon Mountain benefits Fire Persimmon Immortal City and contributes to the Southern Bean Kingdom. These merits are also intangible resources. Our Ning family is actually in a somewhat awkward position. Although we have settled in Fire Persimmon Immortal City for over a decade after migrating from North Wind Country, in terms of overall strength and status, we're at the bottom among various forces. This opportunity is very rare, and such a chance might not come again for decades. If our Ning family can seize this opportunity, we will surely be able to change the entire situation through the Lava Fairy Palace, improve our overall strength, foundation, and our status within the Southern Bean Kingdom. Ning Jiufan stroked his beard. If what you say is true, and this is a splendid opportunity, then are you suggesting mobilizing the entire family to change their cultivation? Ning Zhu shook his head immediately. Of course not. Our Ning family is innately adept at cultivating frost-type cultivation techniques. This advantage cannot be lost, nor can it be changed. In my view, we should let most of the ordinary cultivators, those without this frost talent, switch to cultivating the 5 elements qi regulation art. That way, through sheer numbers, we take the lead over Zhou family, Zheng family, and the city lord's mansion, and strive for more positions in the Immortal Palace. As for the emerging geniuses of the Ning family, let them continue to practice their original cultivation techniques. Ning Jiufan remained noncommittal. In his heart, however, he was quite satisfied with Ning Zhu's response. Thinking further, Ning Zhu was only a mere 16 years old, which made the golden core ancestor of the Ning family even more expectant of Ning Zhu's future. He glanced at Ning Zhu and said, "I will send a letter to ask the current clan leader. Do you think his ideas will align with yours?" Ning Zhu immediately exclaimed, "Ancestor, do you still have expectations for the main branch of the Ning family?" There's no need to ponder his answer. It will surely prioritize the main branch. In my opinion, if we truly want the Ning family to prosper, we must carve a new path, establish a new faction. The people of the main branch have now become a stumbling block that thwarts our family's advancement. If I could separate from the family and become the leader of my own branch, I could definitely lead the whole Ning family to climb new heights. This remark once again provoked Ning Jiufan to burst out. Always talking about separating. Can't you live on without separating? Drop this subject. In the Ning family clan land, inside the Ning family council hall. The Ning family clan leader sat at the main seat, flanked by the family elders. The clan leader passed the letter from Ning Jiufan to others. The family elders quickly read through and all fell silent, not uttering a word. The atmosphere in the council hall was extremely suffocating. The Ning family clan leader let out a deep sigh and said, "Let's all share your views." The battle hall elder spoke first. "The current situation is quite grim. If we allow the renovation team to secure positions at the Lava Fairy Palace, our branches will inevitably receive substantial support, making them difficult to contain. In the future, it will be hard to say who is a branch and who is the main lineage." The academy elder chimed in. "We rely on controlling the cultivation techniques to govern the whole clan. But if cultivators switch to cultivating the 5 elements chi regulation art, controlling and restraining them through cultivation techniques becomes an absurd idea." As soon as he finished speaking, a talisman hall elder scoffed a few times. "You old things, why can't you see the situation clearly? On the surface, this is the ancestor asking for our opinion. But in reality, this is just a polite and tactful letter of persuasion. Can we even refuse? This strategy is clearly orchestrated by Zhu Xuanji and Meng Qi. It's obvious they want to actively encourage us to compete vigorously for positions in the Lava Fairy Palace, without hesitating to concede future interests. Our clan has no choice but to go all out. The Zhou family and Zheng family will do the same, because whoever holds more positions in the Lava Fairy Palace will have more power in the Fire Persimmon Mountain in the future. This is an outright plan laid bare. There's no way for us to stop it," the academy elder shouted. "But our Ning family cultivators' innate talent lies in frost-type cultivation techniques, determined by our very roots. Now, to have most of our people switch to cultivating the 5 elements chi regulation art, and to frantically vie for positions at the Lava Fairy Palace. Isn't this misplacing priorities and wasting our talents?" The talisman hall elder chuckled coldly. "Our family's innate talent indeed lies in frost-type cultivation, but cultivating the 5 elements chi regulation art is no obstacle either. Besides, most of our clan members don't have talents like ice jade hands, so there isn't much difference whether they cultivate frost-type or the 5 elements chi regulation art. The problem now is not about us making a choice, but that we can only accept it. If we continue this trend, it will become difficult to decide who leads and who follows in our Ning family in the future." With these words, the Ning family clan leader and all family elders fell into silence. The situation was extremely dire for the main lineage of the Ning family. Previously, Ning Zhu had toppled Ning Zioren, opportunely uniting a group of former officials and taking control of the black market overnight. This heavy blow had left the main lineage of the Ning family still dazed to this day. In reality, Ning Zhu had already caused a division in the Ning family, with some branch members establishing a new faction in the black market. The main lineage of the Ning family had found no countermeasures and had once pinned their hopes on the city lord's mansion and other parties. But Ning Zhu's subsequent handling was excellent, even earning praise from Fei Si for being sensible, even more so than Sun Lingtong. The main lineage of the Ning family could only pin their hopes on the future. After all, it was a consensus at the high level that the black market could not fall under the control of one of the 3 families. It was just a special situation currently. Finally, the main lineage of the Ning family first got wind of this political strategy. This would greatly boost the growth of the faction led by Ning Zhu. Originally, the foundation of Ning Zhu's group was in the black market, earning wealth from there for cultivation. Now, because positions will be preserved, the Lava Fairy Palace could likely become another source of wealth for Ningzhu's group. And this time, the preservation of Lava Fairy Palace positions, affirmed by the highest echelons, was no longer an unsustainable foundation like the black market. The high ranks of the Ning family had already foreseen this grim future. However, what utterly disheartened them was that they were simply unable to stop it. This was a matter personally negotiated by Meng Qi and Zhu Xuanji, and had also received the approval of the 3 golden core cultivators. It was an inevitable trend. In order to squeeze out the Bukong sect as the third party, the 2 dominant forces in the fire persimmon immortal city of the southern Bean country had made this decision. Under such a trend, the upper echelons of the Ning family were mere mantises under the carriage wheel. They had no golden core cultivators to support them internally, only a gathering of foundation establishment elites. Faced with such a terrifying wave, they could only go with the flow, not oppose it futilely like the mantis trying to stop a chariot. A family elder broke the silence. If only our main branch had dispatched more cultivators to join the renovation team initially. Everyone's faces showed embarrassment, as if a boomerang had just flown to hit them in the face. Indeed, that was the case. If initially, the majority of the renovation team had been made up of members from the main branch of the Ning family, or even if it had been entirely made up of them, then the main branch of the Ning family would be receiving great benefits at this moment. Academy Elder. The decision made at that time wasn't wrong. After all, the prospects of renovating the 5 elements Qi regulation art were unclear. In fact, up to now, we have only unearthed the 1st to 6th levels of the 5 elements Qi regulation art. Battle Hall Elder. Who could have anticipated the emergence of Ningzhuo, this demonic talent? Who could have foreseen that the Bukong sect had already infiltrated and laid out their plans over a decade, forcing the royal family and the Meng family to join hands, conceding future benefits to such an extent? The Ning family clan leader slowly spoke, with a hoarse voice. It seems our main branch of the Ning family must actively align with the Lava Fairy Palace. We must send as many cultivators as possible for renovation, and then compete for positions in the Lava Fairy Palace. Otherwise, if we let things develop on their own, the power of our main branch will quickly diminish, becoming weak and unable to recover. After saying this, the clan leader couldn't help but show a strong expression of loss and exhaustion. As soon as he finished speaking, many family elders in the hall agreed. Battle Hall Elder said, "Worthy of being our clan leader, this is a wise response. If that's the case, then I suggest we must fully court Ningzhuo. Our main branch of the Ning family, if wanting to compete for positions in the Lava Fairy Palace, this individual is the most crucial." Talisman Hall Elder directly said, "I remember Ningzhuo hasn't married or had children yet. He's only 16 years old. This is the perfect age for a marriage alliance with our main branch." Academy Elder stroked his beard. "Based on my familiarity with Ningzhuo, I am aware that he has a particular fondness for cultivation, especially for mechanical techniques. We can cater to his interests." The Ning family clan leader was lost in thought, as if in a dream. He had never imagined there would come a day when he and the many family elders would be discussing how to please and court Ningzhuo. He had a rather poor impression of Ningzhuo. On one hand, it was because his son, the former young clan leader Ning Zioren, had been ousted by Ningzhuo. On the other hand, Ningzhuo often displayed disdain and resistance toward the high levels of the Ning family and authority, which to the clan leader of the Ning family was an enormous offense. Ning family ancestor Ning Jiufan found Ningzhuo to be straightforward and adorable, because Ning Jiufan, a distinguished golden core stage cultivator, did not feel threatened by Ningzhuo. The Ning family clan leader was in the foundation establishment stage himself, while Ningzhuo's advancement to foundation establishment was already a certainty. Moreover, Ningzhuo had also set up his own power base in the black market, gathering a group of followers. This action had greatly offended the clan leader's sensibilities, posing a significant challenge and injury to his authority. But now, the situation compelled the entire main branch of the Ning family to fully court Ningzhuo. All the family elders who had once supported and surrounded him shared this sentiment. What made the clan leader feel even colder was that even he himself knew. At this moment, courting Ning Zhu was extremely necessary. Despite his extreme dislike and hatred for Ning Zhu, reason told him that he had to win Ning Zhu over. He, the mighty clan leader of a family, had to bow and scrape with a smile to Ning Zhu, this junior, this mere chi refinement middle-level fellow. How depressing, how frustrating. But what could he do? Ning Zhu, this brat, is too lucky. He's shot up by relying on the lava fairy palace. He's too good at maneuvering, and now, he's already a favorite in the eyes of the golden core cultivators. Look, Zhu Xuanji had brought Ning Zhu along to Zhu Hu's inauguration ceremony. After Ning Xiaohui's death, the Ning family ancestor had taken Ning Zhu by his side, directly arranging a room for him at his own residence. The clan leader had once hoped for Ning Xiaohui to receive such treatment. Reality is cruel. Ning Xiaohui had already sacrificed herself, yet it was Ning Zhu who had caught the eye of Zhu Xuanji and Ning Jiyufan and other golden core ancestors. From Ning Zhu, the clan leader felt a threat, a huge, intensely unbearable threat. Obviously, Ning Zhu was going to be heavily cultivated. Ning Zhu had already become a prominent figure of the branch family, the flag bearer. He commanded the black market, had the men, had the prestige, and now had also gained the recognition of the upper echelons. His rise was unstoppable. The clan leader, although in the prime of life, felt physically and mentally exhausted while sitting in his seat at this moment. Facing the impact from Ning Zhu, this junior, he felt his own old and incompetent self. He was feeling an era's wave coming straight at him. Clearly, the cultivators specializing in old cultivation techniques were of the old era, while those who had switched to the three superior sect techniques were stepping into a new era. The positions in the Lava Fairy Palace remained unchanged. This strategy completely altered the prospects of the entire Fire Persimmon Immortal City. Don't be fooled by the current weakness of these Chi Refinement Realm cultivators who had changed their specialization. As long as they hold the positions, they will receive continuous resources, making it highly likely for them to advance to the foundation establishment stage eventually. Such a force would grow stronger over time, eventually surpassing the main branch of the Ning family. Ning Zhu, as the leader of the renovation team, as the prominent figure of the Ning branch family, and as the leader of the black market, was undoubtedly one of the most conspicuous wave riders of this era, and no doubt, his gain would be the greatest. Considering further, with his unmeasured, mysterious innate abilities, Ning Zhu's future prospects are incredibly bright, virtually immeasurable. The situation is already established. We can only go with the flow for a short time. However, who can predict the future? Geniuses often die young. For the first time, the Ning family clan leader harbored thoughts of killing Ning Zhu. Previously, even when Ning Zhu had ousted his son and established his own faction in the black market, the Ning family clan leader had not considered harming Ning Zhu's life. But this time was different. Ning Zhu was now a threat to his position. The family elders of the main branch could curry favor and attempt to win over Ning Zhu because they were just family elders. The Ning family clan leader to win over Ning Zhu, so that Ning Zhu could become the future clan leader. The Ning family clan leader was not that foolish. Let me in, let me in. Suddenly there was a dispute at the door. The Ning family clan leader was in a bad mood, and hearing this, immediately frowned and shouted, "Who is making noise outside?" No sooner had his words fallen when the great doors of the council hall were violently pushed open. An old woman barged in. Her eyes were bloodshot, and she radiated an aura of rage and hatred. Her once kind face was now extremely distorted because of her anger. This was none other than Ning Xiaohui's grandmother. After she burst into the hall, her gaze firmly fixed on the Ning family clan leader, she cried out, "Xiaohui, my granddaughter Xiaohui, where is she?" The Ning family clan leader's prior anger instantly dissipated, and he sighed, "It has come to this, please restrain your grief. Our Ning family will never forget Xiaohui's sacrifice and contributions." "Don't talk to me about sacrifice and contributions." Ning Xiaohui's grandmother threw her hand up and screeched, "I want Xiaohui, my granddaughter. I don't believe that my granddaughter is already dead. This must be fake, all of this has to be fake. My granddaughter in the Lava Immortal Palace must still be alive. With so many golden core cultivators, how can they not protect a junior in the Chi refinement realm? It's impossible, absolutely impossible. My granddaughter Ning Xiaohui must have already earned the favor of Lord Zhu Xuanji by now, ha 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 ha." Everyone was silent. Ning Xiaohui's grandmother was grief-stricken, her hair disheveled and her behavior hinting at madness, clearly unable to withstand this severe blow. She had adored Ning Xiaohui immensely since her birth. She had raised Ning Xiaohui from a child, and after learning that Ning Xiaohui possessed the Ice Jade Hand's innate talent, had spared no effort in nurturing her. The death of Ning Xiaohui signified the collapse of Ning Xiaohui's grandmother's pillar in life. The Ning family clan leader sighed deeply, stood up, walked over to Ning Xiaohui's grandmother, and tried to console her patiently. Instead of calming down, Ning Xiaohui's grandmother grew even more hysterical, screaming, I don't listen, it's all fake, all fake." As she shouted, she turned and ran out of the council hall. The Ning family clan leader watched Ning Xiaohui's grandmother's retreating figure, sighed deeply again, and called over his subordinates, instructing them to enhance the care and attention to Ning Xiaohui's grandmother. After fully assessing the situation, the actions of the main branch of the Ning family became more decisive and harsh than before. They withdrew a large number of core qi refining cultivators, forcibly ordering them to switch to cultivating the 5 elements qi regulation art. Would this be too late? Everyone had such worries, but no one voiced them. This was something that had to be done. At the same time, all cultivators of the main branch of the Ning family with enough mastery of mechanical techniques and who could enter the Immortal Palace were deployed, putting their all into striving for positions. After issuing these orders, the Ning family clan leader alone went down to the prison of the clan land. My son! He saw Ning Xiaoren again. Ning Xiaoren, delighted, ran to the front of the prison bars. Father, why have you come? Is there a turn in events? Did that little guy Ning Zhu slip up? Did Ning Xiaohui manage to suppress him? Ning Xiaoren harbored a deep hatred for Ning Zhu, the tedious and dull days in prison nearly driving him insane. Every bit of pain he endured only deepened his hatred towards Ning Zhu. The Ning family clan leader sighed. Ning Xiaohui is dead. As for Ning Zhu, let's not talk about him right now. A drastic change has indeed arrived. I've thought it over and decided that it's not right for you to waste time here. If you secure a position in the Immortal Palace, it would be extremely beneficial for your future. Ning Xiaoren, what position in the Immortal Palace? The Ning family clan leader. You will find out after you get out. This time, I came to let you know that the plan has been significantly moved up. Next, you will contribute talismans to secure your freedom. After you get out, you must try your utmost to carve a future for yourself in the Lava Immortal Palace. You have sufficient mastery in mechanical techniques to enter the Immortal Palace. Now, you can only rely on your own struggle. Afterwards, our family's main branch must fully stay on good terms with Ning Zhu, so don't expect any support from me. If you can gain Ning Zhu's understanding, that would be even better. If you could ingratiate yourself with Ning Zhu, that would be ideal. Ning Xiaoren was shocked and speechless, incredulously asking, What? I should ingratiate myself with Ning Zhu. Are you even my father? Zheng Jian, may your journey be filled with rapid progress. Congratulations on entering the medical pavilion and advancing to the position of a physician. Your Grace, though Ning Zhu took the initial step, with your talents, you are destined to surpass him and become the foremost physician in the pavilion. Zheng Jian walked on, waving his hand vigorously, his spirits high and vitality radiating. Under the watchful eyes of many, he slowly stepped into the medical pavilion. The doors of the medical pavilion closed automatically behind him, and the noise from the outside world abruptly faded away. Zheng Jian looked around, spotting the rows of medical consultation desks, and noticed more rooms upstairs, inhaling deeply. He first took a stroll around, discovering that even though he could go upstairs, many rooms were off-limits to him. The role of physician is ultimately just the lowest tier in the medical pavilion. I have a long road ahead before I can be in charge here. Zheng Jian tried to accept a mission. He was soon delighted to find that, after acquiring the position of physician, his list of missions had expanded at least 3 times. Many of these tasks are brand new, ones I've never encountered before. The rewards for these new tasks are clearly superior to those from tasks outside. The thrill in his heart dispersed quickly and his eyes dropped, gleaming with a sharp light. He thought of Ning Zhu. Ning Zhu became a physician before me and has had access to these missions for much longer. Fortunately, an incident has occurred with him, and he has not shown up for 2 days. This is the best chance for me to overtake him. If I miss this opportunity, I might not get another one this good. Zheng Jian considered Ning Zhuo his greatest competitor, harboring deep rivalry. This was because, after an urgent discussion, the Zheng family had analyzed all the mechanical architectures within Lava Fairy Palace, discussed all the positions, and decided that the medical pavilion was their top priority. The Zheng family's decision was conveyed to Zheng family's renovation team. Zheng Jian, being the most outstanding member and the indisputable leader of the Zheng family renovation team, took on the crucial task of surpassing Ning Zhuo without hesitation. Outer circle of the Lava Fairy Palace. This was a frequently battled zone, a battlefield littered with ruins. 8 mechanical night sky bats flew in circles above, surveying the ruins from above. 2 genius cultivators from the Zhou family stood amidst the ruins. The 2 of them controlled the night sky bats while discussing. Zhou Zeshan, looking worried, said, "Ever since the incident at the Historical Records Pavilion and with Xiaohui, the flame demon beast has broken through the light shield and entered the Immortal Palace more frequently. In my opinion, the golden light barrier is much weaker than before." Zhou Zhu, however, was unconcerned. "Isn't that better? The more the flame demon beast rampages in, the more mechanical buildings it destroys, the more opportunities we have to repair these buildings. This is our forte. Repairing a mechanical building grants us far greater merit than other tasks." Zhou Zeshan shook his head slowly, still worried. "When the nest is overturned, no egg is left unbroken. If the Lava Fairy Palace remains intact, that's one thing. But if it gets destroyed by the demon beast tide, all our schemes will come to naught." Zhou Zhu was more optimistic and immediately expressed his confidence in his family and in Meng Qi. Zhou Zeshan said, "We haven't seen the full extent of the demon beast tide yet. Numerous demon beasts die every day, but the tide still continues unabated. The critical point is that among the demon beasts, those of nascent soul level have not shown themselves. Furthermore, the Bukong sect poses a greater threat. The influence of this major evil sect extends across multiple countries. Importantly, the location of their sect has never been exposed. Some even speculate that this unique evil sect intentionally operates without a fixed headquarters. So, in comparison, dealing with sects like Soul-Devouring Sect, which have a clear territorial footprint, is actually easier." During the conversation, the 2 of them gradually put away the night sky bats. They closed their eyes, receiving the information transmitted from the night sky bats. Then, Zhou Zeshan and Zhou Zhu crouched down. Mana fed into the threads extending from their hands stiffened tautly. The threads moved about on the ground, swiftly outlining a simple overview of the ruins. The 2 discussed repair strategies one after the other. The plan wasn't just to restore the old mechanical buildings, but also to incorporate many more offensive and defensive mechanical artifacts. This wasn't their first repair, and they already had experience. They knew that this enhanced restoration could yield them more merit afterward. Of course, doing so meant that they had to invest a lot, sacrificing materials, manpower, and various other costs. The Zhou family fully supported them. Like the other 2 families, the Zhou family was also making every effort to secure positions within the Lava Fairy Palace. Before long, Zhou Zeshan and Zhou Zhu stood up and began their activities. They first released a dozen driller rats. The driller rats rotated their spiral drill bits, burrowing into the ruins to sever the foundations of the buildings and simultaneously inspect the condition beneath the ground. Afterward, Zhou Zeshan released the White Tiger strong rushing vehicle, while Zhou Zhu took out the Azure Dragon lifting arm. The White Tiger strong rushing vehicle, which had made an appearance during a sparring session between Zhou Zeshan and Ning Zhuo, had a lifelike appearance with strong and powerful limbs, seemingly ready to leap at any moment. Its body was a vast expanse of silvery white, reflecting the cold, metallic luster. The tiger's eyes were made of crystal, capable of emitting light rays to discern the enemy's weaknesses. When the Azure Dragon lifting arm was first taken out, it was in a coiled form. Once extended, the bronze dragon scales were tightly detailed, and the dragon's ridge rose high, appearing extremely robust and powerful. The head of the White Tiger strong rushing vehicle retracted and shrank into its body. Zhou Zhu inserted the tail of the Azure Dragon into the hollow of the White Tiger's neck, firmly fixing the 2 together. The dragon's ridge stiffened, Its head was held high as if ready to soar into the sky. Under the joint efforts of the two Zhou family geniuses, the white tiger's strong rushing vehicle leaped forward, directly jumping into the ruins of the buildings. The azure dragon lifting arm began to move, striking out in all directions with the agility of a dragon or serpent. The dragon's mouth opened wide, clamping onto broken wooden beams before tossing them aside. Sometimes, when encountering tougher materials, the dragon's mouth would chew vigorously, crushing the debris into smaller pieces for easier cleanup. With such targeted mechanical artifacts, the debris in the area was quickly cleared away. Zhou Zeshan and Zhou Zhu then meticulously cleaned up once more before starting the reconstruction. Both had once joined the Mudflow sect for further study and were very skilled in such construction, earning considerable merit. While controlling various types of mechanical artifacts, they still found time to chat. They talked about Ningzhuo, knowing he had not made a public appearance for 2 days. They speculated that it might be because Ningzhuo had decided to leave the dark for the light, fearing the Bukong sect might seek him out. After all, the death of Ning Ziohui was a recent memory. Zhou Zeshan looked in the direction of the physician's office. With this, Zheng Jian might have a chance. The duties of the physician's office are quite significant, for it can not only repair mechanical artifacts but also heal people. If Zheng Jian can take the lead and allow the Zheng family to take control of the physician's office, then in the future, the Zheng family's status in Fire Persimmon Immortal City will be significantly boosted. Ningzhuo, when will you step forward? Zhou Zeshan had always had a good impression of Ningzhuo, considering him a thinker like himself. And from the perspective of family interests, Zhou Zeshan very much hoped that Ningzhuo could defend the physician's office's interests and thwart Zheng Jian. After all, the Zheng family ranked just below the Zhou family, and if Zheng Jian controlled the physician's office, it would definitely provoke a severe impact on the Zhou family's status. Both privately and publicly, Zhou Zeshan hoped Ningzhuo would take a stand at this critical moment. Ning Jiufan also hoped Ningzhuo would take a stand. 2 days had passed since the new strategies were set in motion, but he discovered that Ningzhuo had remained in his room. He was either practicing the 5 elements qi regulation art, studying technique classics, or delving into the insights from the talismans given by Ning Jiufan, showing no signs of stepping outside. Ning Jiufan called Ningzhuo over. A snake can't move without a head, and as the leader of the renovation team and highly esteemed by the people, why do you not set foot outside? At this very moment, both the Zhou and Zheng families are going all out, vying for various positions. Yet our Ning family's momentum is suppressed, urgently needing a leader to bolster morale and lead our family members forward. Ningzhu spoke. Ancestor, it's too dangerous for me. My situation is different from that of Zheng Jian, Zhou Zeshan, and Zhou Zhu. I have once collaborated with people from the Bukong sect, and now that I've left them for the light, they must hate me to death and will surely plot to assassinate and ambush me, seeking to take my life. I could end up just like Ning Ziohui if I'm not careful. So, for safety's sake, I better stay by your side. I am, after all, the only person in the Qi refinement realm in our Ning family with innate talent. My death would be a great loss to the family. Ning Jiufan was immediately so angry that he blew his beard and glared, scolding Ningzhu once more for his cowardice and lack of the Ning family's spirit. Ningzhu shrugged and looked helpless. Ancestor, you can scold all you want. If it makes you feel better, you can scold me for 10 days and a half. Ning Jiufan was choked by this response, having never seen such a lazy character among the Ning family descendants. For a moment, he didn't know what to say or how to scold. After a brief silence, Ning Jiufan looked at Ningzhuo, who was as indifferent as a dead pig to boiling water, and said helplessly, "Tell me, what do you want to actively take initiative and uphold our Ning family's honor?" Ningzhuo replied with a bitter expression, "Ancestor, it's not that I don't want to contribute to the family. I am worried about my safety. The talismans you gave me don't provide me with enough security. I've previously received a targeted teleportation talisman from the family. This talisman could allow me to teleport out quickly in critical situations. I think, if Ning Ziohui had this talisman back then, she might not have had to sacrifice herself." Ning Jiufan shook his head slightly. "You're hoping for too much, but even us Golden Core cultivators find it difficult to use teleportation techniques within the Lava Fairy Palace." There are prohibitions in the Lava Fairy Palace, making it extremely difficult to teleport. With that, Ning Jiufan stroked his beard. Here's what I'll do, I'll give you a spirit talisman. It will protect you completely. Ning Jiu's eyes lit up, and he immediately bowed deeply, expressing his gratitude. Thank you, ancestor, for the talisman. Ning Jiufan glared, thinking to himself, who said I was giving it away? This talisman was oval-shaped, with a deep azure base that seemed to be permeated with a faint layer of oil sheen. At the center of the talisman was a fluid silver rune, undulating like ripples on water, cresting and troughing left and right, manifesting a supple and spirit movement-like power. From the edges of the rune, lines extended towards the upper left, upper right, lower left, and lower right corners. These lines stretched to their ends and then coiled into a cluster, sketching out a structure similar to the central rune, just significantly smaller than the large central cluster. The structure of the talisman, with one large and four small clusters, was very clear. Ning Jiufan handed over the talisman, introducing it. This is the oil slick and smooth talisman. It possesses spiritual nature and is also sealed with much of my golden core power. As soon as you are under attack, its spiritual nature will trigger, enveloping you within a layer of an oily, watery light shield. Most attacks, as long as they do not surpass the golden core level, can nearly all be deflected or have their force dissipated by the oil shiny protective shield, and then be skewed away. Ning Jiu couldn't hide his elation and repeated, good talisman, good talisman. Ning Jiufan snorted, you little brat, truly greedy. However, if you want this talisman, it's not impossible. You should know what to do next, right? Ning Jiu bowed again. Ancestor, how could I be someone who fears death and clings to life? I only wish to preserve a useful life, to repay your mentorship and contribute to our Ning family. Ancestor, I will surely give it my all to secure more key positions for our Ning family. Still, can this talisman really save my life? Ancestor, for the sake of insurance, please give me a few more talismans like this one. Ning Jiufan curled his finger and knocked on Ning Jiu's head, scolding, greed that knows no bounds. Don't overdo it. This spirit-infused talisman is a treasure of the family level, capable of being used multiple times. Unless the Bukong sect has a nascent soul-level infiltrator, this talisman will surely keep you safe. Even if you face off against Yang Chanyu, it will be enough to hold out until I come to rescue you. Now scram, and get out there and do your job. Ning Jiufan waved his sleeve, feeling annoyed at the loss of the spirit talisman and seeing Ning Jiu's greedy face. Ning Jiu left his residence and went to find many members of the Ning family renovation team. They were particularly excited to see Ning Jiu. Ning Jiu told them. Initially weak, he had been secretly controlled by the Bukong sect, but now the dark clouds had given way to bright flowers, and he felt relieved. Furthermore, in the past 2 days, he had been by Ning Jiufan's side, receiving teachings and cultivation from the Golden Core ancestor, and although his strength had not increased significantly, his perspective had widened a great deal. The morale of the Ning family renovation team was greatly boosted. They complained to Ning Jiu that the Zhou family and Zheng family renovation teams had changed their usual demeanor. Although they had been kind and warm when learning from Ning Jiu's experience previously, they were now almost turning their backs on them in the competition for key positions. Especially the Zheng family, with their naturally straightforward and bold character. Now that Zheng Jian was the second to obtain the physician role, they started acting arrogant and looked down on others. Ning Jiu obtained much information and, having achieved his objective, bid farewell to everyone and headed to the healing institution. As he walked, he pondered, analyzing the current situation. A new policy had caused all 3 families to adjust swiftly and drastically. Originally, the 3 families were closely united, forming a strong alliance. But now, because of positions, they began to compete against each other. Such competition is bound to get more intense. Although competition among the righteous path won't lead to fighting and killing, once it escalates to a certain point, all kinds of underhanded tactics and methods could emerge. Although the 3 families had signed a pact, it likely couldn't have anticipated such a situation. Hence, the contents of the pact would have little restraint now. As Ning Jiu analyzed, he couldn't help but look up at the sky and sigh. Meng Qi truly deserves to be the strategist of the Meng family. A simple policy has started to fracture the tripartite alliance. This is not a conspiracy, but a strategy enacted in plain sight. All three families and Zhu Xuanji are aware of Meng Qiu's calculations, but they're helpless against them, only able to follow his intentions. As for the Zheng family, Ning Zhuo understood the Zheng family's ambition to take over the healing institution. Indeed, the healing institution was one of the most valuable mechanical artifacts, and the accompanying positions were extremely important, whether in peace or wartime. Ning Zhuo frowned in secret. The current situation was a bit troublesome for him. The healing institution, command platform, and the 5 elements turret were the 3 components, with the healing institution being the most important. Because the serious injury treatment room within could temporarily block golden core cultivators from detecting Ning Zhuo, this feature was not present in either the command platform or the 5 elements turret. It's fine to have outsiders like Zheng Jian mixed in the healing institution, but the busy comings and goings, with many eyes and ears, won't be as convenient as before. But I am the director, the highest role in the institution, with great power. I can completely make the serious injury treatment room my own exclusive domain. The Zheng family's heavy investment is also beneficial to me. The only thing to worry about. Ning Zhuo entered the healing institution. Zheng Jian was engrossed in handling a mechanical puppet on the desk. Hearing the noise, he quickly looked up in surprise at Ning Zhuo. "Brother Ning Zhuo, you're here." Zheng Jian laughed, then bowed his head again. "I'm currently swamped with work, can't leave it. Let's catch up later." Ning Zhuo nodded. "Haha, Brother Zheng, let's not rush to catch up. I haven't taken on any tasks for 2 days." After a brief greeting, Ning Zhuo went to a corner of the hall, chose a bench behind Zheng Jian, and began making mechanical repairs. After completing 3 mechanical artifact repairs in a row and covertly using his authority as the director to assign a big task to Zheng Jian, he ended his pretense and quietly climbed the staircase, heading upstairs. He went straight to the serious injury treatment room and firmly shut the door. Zheng Jian was too focused and sweating profusely to notice Ning Zhuo's subtle actions. Ning Zhuo first checked the resources. Before, Sun Lingtong and Yang Chanyu stole a trove of treasures from the cloud merchant, and a portion of it was given to Ning Zhuo. After inspecting it, Ning Zhuo found that only a drop of the supreme water was missing. An extra spirit box had appeared. The spirit box could store spiritual nature for a while. Ning Zhuo had wanted to come to the medical clinic to open the spirit box much earlier, but in order to conceal it perfectly, he endured for 2 more days until even Ning Jiufan couldn't bear it anymore, and then he took action. Stored within the spirit box was Ning Ziohui's spiritual nature. A faint movement stirred in Ning Zhuo's heart, but he first took out a talisman. This talisman was long and narrow and of a light blue hue, resembling a sapphire that had been washed clean by water. The surface of the talisman was smooth, emanating a soft water-like radiance, and it felt cool to the touch. The runes on it were graceful, like clouds and flowing water, and after staring intently for a few breaths, one could see the runes slowly moving on the talisman paper, like flowing water. It was indeed the flowing clouds and streaming water talisman. This flowing clouds and streaming water talisman is one of the legacies of the Ning family, similar to the oil slick and smooth talisman, both containing spiritual nature. Previously, the flowing clouds and streaming water talisman was given to Ning Ziohui to use, using up much of its spiritual nature. Ning Zhuo had been contemplating how to add spiritual nature to the flowing clouds and streaming water talisman. Now he brought the talisman close to the spirit box and then slightly opened a thin gap in the box. The next moment, a small amount of spiritual nature, like fireflies, fluttered out and directly merged into the flowing clouds and streaming water talisman. Ning Zhuo's eyes suddenly gleamed. It can really be done! For a while, he was overwhelmed with joy, and his eyes even reddened. Previously, this had just been his conjecture, but now, with practical application, his idea was validated perfectly. To replenish the spiritual nature of the flowing clouds and streaming water talisman, one could certainly start with a cultivator's body. Ning Ziohui had used this talisman in her lifetime, cherishing it deeply, and it was almost considered untouchable. This bond allowed a small portion of Ning Ziohui's refined spiritual nature to be absorbed by the flowing clouds and streaming water talisman, enhancing its foundation. Ning Zhuo quickly closed the spirit box and held the flowing clouds and streaming water talisman, standing still for quite a while. Gradually calming his excitement, he took various materials from his storage waste belt. Then, using the facilities in the serious injury treatment room, he began making mechanical artifacts. He had a preconceived design, and his methods were quite skillful. 2 hours later, a pair of mechanical floating hands was created. At first glance, these arms looked like crystal-clear ice crystals. The fingers were slender and delicate, like white jade, each joint as round and smooth as jade, akin to a work of art. Intricate, frost-like runes were painted on the surfaces of the palms and backs, exuding an aura of chill and purity. The entire set of arms conveyed a feminine sense of graceful curves and softness. Mechanical artifact, floating ice jade hands. Ningxiu tried to control them, to test the function of the floating ice jade hands. They were able to release frost and freeze targets into blocks of ice. However, they had no healing capabilities. Ningxiu attempted to use them to draw runes. They could not automatically draw talismans yet, but when he used them to create frost talismans, the experience was profound. Many rune paths that he would struggle with himself came naturally with these mechanical arms, as if water naturally follows the channel it flows through. This is what they call innate, ice jade hands. However, currently, Ning Xiaoyui's spiritual nature is not at full capacity. It needs replenishment. Only when the spiritual nature reaches a certain level can the innate ice jade hands be restored, endowing the frozen ice cubes with healing prowess. When it later ascends to the spiritual wisdom phase and gains a certain level of wisdom, I can use it to continuously make talismans every day. As for acquiring items that Ning Xiaoyui frequently used in life, it should not be difficult. Ningxiu gauged the time and then stepped out the door. Lingering too long in the serious injury treatment room might arouse suspicion. The newly made floating ice jade hand restraints he also left in the room and did not take with him. His storage magical tool could still be inspected by other golden core cultivators. Although the likelihood was much less than before, Ningxiu was still not willing to take such unnecessary risks. "Brother Ningxiu, you've finally come out. Just wait a moment for me to complete the task at hand, then may I borrow a moment to speak with you?" Zheng Jian saw Ningxiu come out and quickly called out to him. Ningxiu nodded and agreed. Once Zheng Jian finished his repair work, he tidied up the workspace and approached Ningxiu. "I didn't expect you to be able to get a task in the serious injury treatment room as soon as you entered. Do you perhaps have some trick to it?" Ningxiu shook his head. "What? Brother Zheng Jian has never seen it before. Perhaps the tasks we each receive differ from person to person." Zheng Jian nodded. "We are all limited by time, Brother Ningxiu, so I will speak frankly. Our Zheng family wants this medical clinic. I ask that you, Ningxiu, give us some consideration." Ningxiu couldn't help but frown slightly. What do you mean by that? He wanted to coexist peacefully with the Zheng family, but from Zheng Jian's implication, it seemed the Zheng family intended to monopolize the clinic's positions and corner the market. Zheng Jian chuckled. "This is our Zheng family's decision, and since it has been made, it will not be changed lightly. Brother Ningxiu, we have cooperated before, and I know you are quite capable. Name your price. What will it take for you to leave with Ning family's renovation team, and from now on stay away from the medical clinic?" Ningxiu's previous worries had indeed materialized. The Zheng family had set their sights on the medical pavilion. The medical facilities in the Lava Fairy Palace were top-notch and extremely helpful for repairing mechanisms and treating cultivators themselves. Whichever power controlled the medical pavilion would hold significant sway in logistical matters. Such authority could elevate a power's influence to another level. If the Lava Fairy Palace were to open in the future, the medical pavilion would also become a business venture, which with its internal facilities alone was bound to make a fortune daily. The artifact refining business the Zheng family had operated for many years couldn't compare to the medical pavilion. Setting aside everything else, just the business of repairing mechanical artifacts was immensely profitable. Cultivators could dismantle various mechanical artifacts within the Lava Fairy Palace, gaining first-hand intelligence and quickly learning and understanding the intricacies of the mechanical skills involved. These skills, originating from the three great sects and at the level of refining void great power, were of immense value. Ningxiu currently held 3 second-rank positions, corresponding to the medical pavilion, the 5 elements turret, and the command platform. Among these, the medical pavilion was, without a doubt, the most valuable. After all, the medical pavilion was capable of production, of generating value, and its practical range was much broader than that of the Five Elements turret and the command platform. Zheng Jian actively sought out Ning Zhuo, asking him to name a price to give up the medical pavilion. This made Ning Zhuo chuckle lightly. He had originally wanted to cultivate the renovation team from the Zheng family, maintaining an open attitude, but now the Zheng family wanted exclusive control of the entire medical pavilion, treating it as an asset within their grasp, and not allowing any other powers to interfere. This is the true stance of a major cultivation clan. In the past, the Zheng family's approach to Ning Zhuo was to woo him, and they appeared very amicable. But when a real conflict of interest arose, the Zheng family instantly revealed a tough and indifferent stance. They were fully committed to the competition, ready to turn against him without hesitation. Old friendships meant nothing compared to sufficient interests. Zheng Jian's persuasion right now is only the first step of the competition. Ning Zhuo was well aware that if he refused, what followed could likely be a series of maneuvers from the Zheng family. Ning Zhuo looked at Zheng Jian with a displeased expression. "Brother Zheng Jian, you must be joking, right? How can such an important place as the medical pavilion be so easily relinquished? I still vividly remember the time we cooperated on crafting the mechanical monkey. Let us have a fair competition today." Zheng Jian stood with his hands behind his back, shaking his head, and sincerely said, "Ning Zhuo, there are plenty of positions in the Lava Fairy Palace. Why must your side persist on focusing on the positions in the medical pavilion? If this continues, both our sides will suffer severe depletion. It is extremely disadvantageous for both of us. Be rational. It is beneficial for both sides to make mutual concessions, and it is also good for the overall situation." Ning Zhuo smiled slightly. "When it comes to managing the positions in the medical pavilion, my side will not shirk its duty. I would ask the Zheng family to stand down." Finally, Zheng Jian scoffed. "How could that be possible? The strength of my Zheng family clearly surpasses that of your Ning family. My family is an old and established clan of the Fire Persimmon Immortal City, while your Ning family is merely a band of wanderers from the North Wind country. If it really comes to a competition, you are bound to lose, Ning Zhuo. Have you considered whether you have failed to understand the situation?" With those words, the negotiation had effectively broken down. Ning Zhuo said expressionlessly, "I don't believe that. Let's compete and let our actions show the truth." Having said that, Ning Zhuo turned and left, the meeting ending on a sour note. On this matter, he couldn't possibly make any concessions, because the medical pavilion contained the serious injury treatment room. That was extremely useful for Ning Zhuo, not only for storing some unsightly loot, but also for secret meetings with people like Sun Lingtong, making it a very secure location. Just recently, he had crafted the floating ice white jade handmobile constraint in the serious injury treatment room. When the time for foundation establishment arrived, he might also choose to do it there. The treatment room was critical for Ning Zhuo. During the negotiation, he did consider feigning compliance with the Zheng family. But after some thought, he realized there was no room to maneuver. Should Ning Zhuo agree to step back, based on the Zheng family's family tradition and temperament, they would most likely not consent to Ning Zhuo freely entering and leaving the medical pavilion in the future. Even if they agreed, Ning Zhuo would be the only one allowed in and out, with other Ning family members excluded. Such an occurrence would be even worse for Ning Zhuo. It could almost be seen as Ning Zhuo being selfish, as a leader failing to lead everyone and instead abandoning them, ignoring the interests of the family. This matter is a bit troublesome. Ning Zhuo left the medical pavilion, contemplating how to deal with the situation. During his visit to the CU orphanage, he had solidified his resolve, no longer wavering, ready to fight to the death for the control of the Lava Fairy Palace. Without a doubt, the competition for the Palace Master position of the Lava Fairy Palace had reached its final stage. Ning Zhuo was now waiting for the imperial examination. This was the only method currently in Ning Zhuo's hands to obtain the position of Palace Master. To become the Palace Master, one must come out on top in the imperial examination. And participation in the examination depends on merit. In this respect, I am at too great a disadvantage. This was Ning Zhuo's biggest current concern. Previously, his merit had been deducted into negative numbers due to his blowing up of the Immortal Palace. Since then, he had taken on multiple tasks and earned a large amount of merit. But up until now, his merit was still embarrassingly in the negative, and that was just the account for blowing up the Immortal Palace. Not long ago, in his role as the chief of the Five Elements turret, he directly bombarded the base of Fire Persimmon Mountain, triggering a tide of flame demon beasts. Now, the demon beast tide had been constantly attacking the Lava Fairy Palace, and a portion of the various damages they caused to the palace would be attributed to Ningxiu's responsibility. After that, Ningxiu had cooperated with the Dragon Turtle Fire Spirit by actively releasing flame demon beasts to meet the minimum conditions for bombarding the Lava Fairy Palace. Eventually, the Historical Records Pavilion was destroyed, and a considerable part of this loss would also be attributed to Ningxiu's responsibility. However, these haven't been settled yet. Ningxiu could fully estimate that once the results of the settlements were out, his merits would certainly be a vast pit. I must fill this pit before the palace examination. Not just fill it, but I also need to ensure that I have more merits to enter the forefront. Only then can I qualify for the palace examination. Under such circumstances, relying solely on Ningxiu's own efforts to earn merits was definitely not enough. The only path in front of him was to leverage the strength of others. The Ning family, the Zheng family, the Zhou family's renovation teams, and even the city lord's mansion side could all lend strength to maximize Ningxiu's possibility of participating in the palace examination. Therefore, dealing with the Zheng family and Zheng Jian was quite troublesome for Ningxiu at the moment. He could not just blindly suppress them, nor could he blindly concede. The means and methods of struggle needed to be handled with care, and the degree had to be firmly controlled. Only then could he achieve a result that was favorable to him. After deep consideration, Ningxiu took action that very afternoon. He led a group of the Ning family and stood waiting by the street. A battle had just ended. Mechanical artifacts converged into a stream and slowly retreated. Ningxiu stood at the forefront of the crowd and suddenly pointed out, "See that mechanical column? Ningyang, go and bring it here." Ningyang leaped forward with a push of his legs and used all his mana to grab and lift the target, pulling it out of the mechanical troops. Ningyang carried the mechanical column straight back to Ningxiu. Ningxiu asked him to lay the column on the ground and then joined Ningyang in accepting the corresponding repair task. It was a repair task that required multiple people to participate in. Ningxiu knelt down to start working, while Ningyang stood by to watch. In no time, Ningxiu opened up the outermost layer of the column and then lifted the inner inlaid armor to reveal the structure inside the column. The pillar was hollow, its inner walls lined with an abundance of array patterns. Central columns and beams were present with a multitude of brass gears and golden threads as fine as hair inside. These golden threads and copper wheels were intricately intertwined, with some obviously knotted together. The complexity of the situation made even Ningyang feel somewhat dizzy. Ningxiu's eyes sparkled as he quickly determined, "The problem isn't big. We just need to replace some brass gears and rearrange the roots of the golden threads." Ningxiu completed the most difficult and tedious parts of the job successfully, while Ningyang watched closely from the side. When it came to the final stage, Ningxiu took out a delicate bronze wrench from his storage waist belt, which bore the semblance of some talisman patterns. Ningxiu guided Ningyang to use the small wrench to adjust the angles of the gears. Every time Ningyang adjusted a gear, he had to silently chant a spell, installing them one by one. He followed Ningxiu's commands to the letter. Whatever Ningxiu told him to do, he did it without thinking. His main characteristic was obedience. Ningyang finished successfully, and the repaired mechanical column once again erected itself, opening its 4 supporting legs, and rushed back to the retreating mechanical troops. Ningxiu then began to allocate merits. The merits were distributed between 2 cooperative repairers, depending on their contributions. However, contribution is something hard to evaluate. Besides factual evidence, it mainly relied on the judgment of the Dragon Turtle Fire Spirit as well as Ningxiu himself. Ever since the Historical Records Pavilion was destroyed, Ningxiu could no longer contact the Dragon Turtle Fire Spirit. If the Fire Spirit did not participate, then it became a one-man show for Ningxiu, chief of the Siyu orphanage. As the chief, he demonstrated the demeanor of the righteous path at this moment, noble and virtuous, as he kept his own merits to the minimum and gave most of them to Ning Yang. Thus, Ning Yang saw his merits increase by a large margin, reaching the standard for a physician's duties all at once. Ning Yang also had a considerable accumulation of merits. Ning Zhu then arranged for him to immediately go to the CU orphanage and continue earning merits as a physician. Ning Zhu looked back at the crowd. "Who's next?" Ning Chen stepped forward. "Young master, it's me." "Right, there's a Zheng family cultivator nearby who's been watching us." "He must be a surveillance cultivator from Zheng Jian's side." Ning Zhu laughed. "It doesn't matter. Our actions are for the greater good. Zheng Jian alone cannot stop our momentum. Let's continue." "Yes," everyone responded in unison, their morale high as a rainbow. A medium-sized mechanical beast moved its limbs and swiftly departed from Zheng Jian and his group. Zheng Jian's attention, however, was on the Zheng family cultivator beside him. "How is it?" The Zheng family cultivator's face was filled with confusion. "Strange. The merits I've divided are not much at all. It's even less than what I would get if I worked alone." Zheng Jian's expression darkened, and he remained silent. The cultivators from the Zheng family around him felt very puzzled. Clearly, they had followed Ning Zhu's example, but why was there such a large gap in the results? The cultivators from the Ning family promoted by Ning Zhu saw their merits surge, one after another, sprinting into the medical hall. On Zheng Jian's side, it not only delayed Zheng Jian himself, but the merit earnings of the others were not impressive at all. "Should we try again?" suggested a Zheng family cultivator. Zheng Jian shook his head. "Enough, we have already tried 3 times, there's no need to try again." At that moment, he thought about his explorations in the medical hall. Zheng Jian had been sensing his innate ability, the piercing heart insight, all along. Facing some rooms he could not enter, he would indirectly test them through his innate ability. Other rooms had nothing special, but when faced with the door to the serious injury treatment room, the desire to break through triggered the piercing heart insight. A sudden alarm in his heart warned him that forcing his way through would surely lead to death. In the entire medical hall, there's only one serious injury treatment room. There seems to be something fishy inside. Ning Zhu has already entered twice, but I haven't seen any related tasks even once. Thinking of this, Zheng Jian said to those around him, "Ning Zhu was once under the control of the Bukong sect, and he likely has retained some secrets that he hasn't fully disclosed. Among these secrets, there must be the Bukong sect's achievements from infiltrating the Lava Fairy Palace and their continuous exploration. That's why he can lift his companions by sharing tasks. But this is nothing. After all, the Ning family is bottom tier among the 3 families. When our clan starts to exert our strength, the disparity between the strong and the weak will be clear. He, Ning Zhuo, just a minor character in the Qi refinement realm, haha, won't be able to hold on. We just need to wait for the right moment to come." Once Zheng Jian realized that he could not defeat Ning Zhuo and the Ning family through legitimate means, he began to rely on the power of his family launching competition at the family level. In the sky, a fire-walking jiao was circling and flying. Once a runaway fire snake grows horns, it becomes a jiao, most of them capable of mastering the ability to take flight. The aura of the golden core level was overflowing everywhere. Such a flame demon beast was incredibly difficult to contend with using just the mechanical artifacts in the Lava Fairy Palace, unless mechanical weapons at the level of Taoist masters and demon generals were deployed. Ning Jiufan and Zheng Danlian arrived almost simultaneously to rescue the situation. Zheng Danlian, holding a mechanical sickle, smiled at Ning Jiufan. "Brother Ning, why don't you guess whether the mechanical weapon in my hand can take the life of this snake jiao?" Ning Jiufan's face darkened. "Naturally, it can." Then Zheng Danlian activated the mechanical sickle. The blade of the sickle flickered slightly, as if passing a ghostly gleam of light. The next moment, the fire-walking jiao that had just been soaring and hissing was decapitated. Its demon core was knocked out of its body, falling towards the ground, and its entire body utterly disintegrated. In an instant, it lost its life. Ning Jiufan's pupils shrank sharply. Zheng Danlian exhaled a mouthful of stale breath, a flash of red in his eyes quickly fading away. Despite his casual demeanor just now, he had used all his strength. That single activation directly consumed 40% of his golden core power. The consumption was terrifying, but the result was excellent, firmly deterring Ning Jiyufan. "Brother Ning, congratulations, you guessed right," continued Zheng Danlian. "Now take a look. Could this mechanical weapon take over the medical hall?" Ning Jiyufan was silent for a while, then said in a muffled voice, "Yes." Ning Zhu walked into Ning Jiyufan's study. Over the past few days, he had achieved a lot, promoting most of the Ning family's renovation team members into the medical hall. Once in the medical hall, he used his position to assign good tasks specifically to the Ning family's renovation team, allowing them to gain even higher rewards. Currently, the Ning family had completely surpassed the Zheng family in the competition for positions in the medical hall. Ning Jiyufan cleared his throat and pointed towards a stool. "Take a seat first." Ning Zhu sat down. "You take a look at this first." Ning Jiyufan handed him a few jade slips. Ning Zhu pressed the jade slip to his forehead, sweeping over it with his divine sense, and found they were reports and calls for help from the main branch of the Ning family. The letters said that the Zheng family had launched a full-scale attack, causing difficulties and strikes against many of the Ning family's enterprises. The Zheng family was striking everywhere, strongly targeting the Ning family, making it difficult for the Ning family to move forward. Some calls for help came from the black market, from those former stewards of the Ning family. The black market under Ning Zhu's control was also experiencing frequent accidents, clearly the Zheng family's doing behind the scenes. Lacking the foundation of the Ning family's main branch, the black market was now in jeopardy. Ning Zhu scoffed. "It seems that the Zheng family is determined to get the medical hall." He looked towards Ning Jiyufan. "Ancestor, did you call me here to tell us to give up?" Ning Jiyufan did not take a stance but asked, "Ning Zhu, what do you think we should do?" Ning Zhu fell into deep thought. He paced 3 circles in the study, eventually standing in front of Ning Jiyufan, speaking with a hint of bitterness. "The Zheng family is powerful by all rights. We shouldn't clash with them head-on. But I think there might still be a chance. We could ask Lord Zhuxuanji for help." Ning Jiyufan shook his head. "The Zheng family's mobilization is aimed squarely at our Ning family, and such tactics are within tacit approval. How could Lord Zhuxuanji blatantly favor us?" Ning Zhu said. "Then we shall ask Lord Meng Qi to preside over justice." Ning Jiyufan was momentarily stunned, then shook his head. "That's inappropriate. Our clan has already signed an alliance with Zhuxuanji, the Zheng family, and the Zhou family. Going to ask Lord Meng Qi to intervene would be akin to betraying the alliance." Ning Zhu said, "There is a way around this. For instance, I could break away from the family, leading a branch to seek refuge with Meng Qi. After all, almost all members of the renovation team are from a branch lineage. If Meng Qi truly can protect us, we won't need to back down." "You young rascal, you want to split the family again." Ning Jiyufan was so angry that he gave Ning Zhu a noogie. This time, Ning Zhu held his head high, his eyes shining with determination. "Old ancestor, just tell me if my idea has any chance of being feasible." Ning Jiyufan was slightly taken aback. Upon deeper consideration, it might actually be possible to pull off. It was obvious to everyone that Meng Qi wanted to divide the alliance. Otherwise, he would not have resorted to the overt strategy of using his position as leverage. If Ning Zhu could really induce a schism and defect to Meng Qi might gladly accept him. Then, using that as a pretext, he could formally and openly interfere with the Ning family's affairs. With the interference in the Ning family's internal matters, the city lord's mansion would also be able to opportunistically meddle in the alliance and the affairs of other families. However, Ning Jiyufan thought carefully and still rejected Ning Zhu's suggestion. Splitting the family was too risky. Ning Zhu heaved a deep sigh. "If we can't leverage external help, then I'm afraid we'll just have to compromise with the Zheng family." Ning Jiyufan said, "Very well, Ning Zhu. You can bend and stretch. Recognizing the urgency of the times is indeed rare for someone your age." Ning Zhu snorted. "I'd much rather defeat Zheng Jian fair and square, but alas, our family lacks strength. I will seek out Zheng Jian once more, offering to make concessions in exchange for some form of compensation. Sigh. We can't just relent for nothing, can we?" Ning Jiyufan nodded. "Let's do it that way." Ning Zhu's letter of homage was first delivered into Zheng Jian's hands. After reading it, Zheng Jian handed it to others. The Zheng family's renovation team members laughed heartily, a clear boost to their morale. "Boss, you are truly prescient. Ning Zhu really did give in." He only bows after a beating. Isn't that just pathetic? If you don't drink a toast, you'll drink a forfeit. Haha, he truly got what he deserved. In my opinion, there's no need to see him. Does he really think he's something special? Zhang Jian shook his head. Ningzhu indeed has some skills. Say what you will, but I have quite a bit of respect for his mechanical skills. It wouldn't hurt to see him once more and further discuss the cooperation he mentioned in his letter. Ningzhu and Zhang Jian met again. Zhang Jian greeted with clasped hands, "Brother Ning." He wasn't haughty, but the smile on his face displayed the superiority of an established family. Ningzhu sighed deeply. "Brother Zhang Jian, this time it's not that I lost to you, but the Ning family lost to the Zheng family." Zhang Jian nodded. "Exactly so. Let's talk about the cooperation you mentioned in your letter." Ningzhu sighed again. "You should know that I've mastered a pattern in completing a task for multiple people. I can significantly increase the achievements of my companions." Zhang Jian nodded. Ningzhu said, "I can exert effort for your Zheng family, helping your people quickly become physicians. Once someone becomes a physician, with the equipment of the medical hall and the tasks exclusive to physicians, the Zheng family cultivator's progress will be astonishing." Zhang Jian was intrigued. "Your proposal is interesting, so what must my side offer in return?" Ningzhu took a deep breath and ventured, "My Ning family needs a few positions within the medical hall." Zhang Jian immediately shook his head. "That's utterly impossible." Ningzhu clenched his teeth. "What if it was just for me to retain a position?" Zhang Jian shook his head again. "Brother Ningzhu, I can't dare to leave you in the medical hall. After all, there are higher positions above that of a physician, and the higher the position, the scarcer they are. If we let you move freely in the medical hall and you someday become the master of the medical hall, I mean the highest position, then wouldn't the entire Zheng family and I, Zheng Jian, become the laughingstock? Not even this is acceptable." Ningzhu stared at Zheng Jian. Zheng Jian shook his head. "Absolutely not." A soft sound. Zheng Jian's body stiffened as he slowly looked down, disbelievingly seeing the tip of a sword protruding in front of his chest. A single-handed sword had pierced his heart from behind and came out through his chest. Ningzhu was also stunned for a moment, then abruptly retreated, shouting, "Ambush! Ambush!" His voice spread around, and the Zheng family's renovation team members, who were already nearby, rushed over to support. Then they saw Yang Chanyu withdraw her single-handed sword, having killed Zheng Jian. Zheng Jian collapsed to the ground, his eyes wide open, utterly devoid of any sign of life. Yang Chanyu, who practiced the old cicada technique, was proficient in accumulating energy and excelling at assassinations. Previously, even the formidable Luo Shang fell to her sudden, deadly strike. Not to mention Zheng Jian, who was merely at the Qi refinement realm. "Boss! Chief! Demoness, I'll fight you to the death." The Zheng family cultivators were livid, pushed to the brink of anger, their blood and bravery ignited, rendering them fearless of Yang Chanyu, the Golden Core. Yang Chanyu, however, ignored them and directed her attack towards Ningzhu. Ningzhu cried for help, his oil-slick and smooth talisman automatically activating and forming a glistening barrier. Yang Chanyu's slashes were all thwarted by the slick barrier. "Interesting," she suddenly stopped her assault, looking towards the southeast. "I'll come for your life another time, little traitor." Casting a cold stare at Ningzhu, she coldly dropped those words and soared into the sky. Leaving Ningzhu collapsed on the ground, unable to conceal his terror, drenched in cold sweat and utterly disoriented. Ningzhu exerted all his strength, hurrying over. Seeing Ningzhu safe and sound with all limbs intact, he finally heaved a heavy sigh of relief. Ningzhu quickly ran in front of Ningzhu, his face still pale. "Ancestor, it was Yang Chanyu who attacked us. I narrowly escaped thanks to the oil-slick and smooth talisman, but Zheng Jian," just as he spoke, another golden core cultivator descended from the sky. "Zheng Jian!" he cried with a mournful voice, overwhelmed with sorrow. It was Zheng Danlian, one of the second ancestors of the Zheng family. His divine sense swept across Zheng Jian's entire body, confirming that the latter was dead beyond doubt, his sorrowful expression immediately replaced by anger and hatred. "Who is it who killed our clan's genius?" he roared, glaring fixedly at Ningzhu. Ningzhu quickly retreated behind Ningzhu, only revealing a large head to say, It was Yang Chanyu from the Bukong sect." Ningzhu snorted coldly, stepping forward to shield Ningzhu from Zheng Danlian's overwhelming presence. "Brother Zheng, Our pressing concern should be to find the murderer and avenge the death. As a distinguished Golden Core elder of a great family, how can you bully a mere Qi refinement junior? Zhang Danlian gritted his teeth, veins bulging on his forehead, and a violent, murderous intent surged in his heart. At this moment, Zhang Xuangu also arrived at the scene of the crime. He landed directly on the ground, squatting to examine Zheng Jian's body in detail. His soul is gone, only the flesh remains. The body, the heart shattered, devoid of life. Zheng Xuangu shook his head slightly, letting out a long sigh. Zheng Danlian demanded, "Ningzhu, you scoundrel, speak. What exactly happened just now? Don't miss a single detail or I will take it out on you." Mana swelled within Ning Jiufan. "Brother Zheng, I know you are in grief. But didn't our Ning Ziohe also fall just recently? Our two families are in the same situation. Ning Zhu is not the culprit. This time he only survived because of the treasure talisman I gave him." Zheng Xuangu intervened, saying to Zheng Danlian, "Elder brother, set aside your thunderous rage. We are allies with the Ning family, not enemies." Zheng Danlian took heavy breaths, his eyes bloodshot, finally managing to suppress his fury. Only then did Ning Jiufan slightly step aside, turning gently, and in a soft tone, instructed Ning Zhuo, "Go on, little Zhuo, try not to omit a single detail." "Yes, ancestor." Ning Zhuo hurriedly recounted the events as they occurred. Zheng Danlian's brows furrowed deeply, while Zheng Xuangu maintained an expressionless face. As the explanation neared its end, a rainbow light flew in from afar, landing there and transforming into a golden core cultivator, Zhu Xuanji. "Lord Zhu, at last, you've arrived." Zheng Danlian had sent a flying message earlier. Zheng Xuangu then said, "Lord Divine Hunter, a genius of our family has perished, and we need your skills to capture the real culprit." Zhu Xuanji swiftly glanced over the scene, glanced at Zheng Danlian, then focused on Zheng Xuangu. "I just went to another crime scene. There has been an incident at the Zhou family, too. Sun Lingtong suddenly appeared, attacking Zhou Zhu and Zhou Zeshan." Zheng Xuangu, "Oh." Zheng Danlian, "Have the Zhou family's geniuses also perished?" Zhu Xuanji shook his head. "They would have, had the Lava Fairy Palace not saved them. Sun Lingtong, although only at the Foundation establishment level, was suppressed by the environment of the Immortal Palace. Zhou Zeshan is lightly injured, Zhou Zhu critically wounded and on the brink of death. It was a situation of utmost peril." Zheng Danlian snorted coldly. "The Zhou family hasn't lost anyone, yet our Zheng family has lost a brilliant young successor." Zhu Xuanji frowned slightly, realizing that Zheng Danlian was speaking out of grief and anger, and did not engage him, but instead looked around and took several steps around the scene. During this time, his eyes shone with golden light as he employed the trace origin technique. In an instant, he saw the moment Zheng Jian's heart was pierced. That bloodied knife, in Zhu Xuanji's sight, became a focal point. Zhu Xuanji sighed. "This must be Yang Chaniu's weapon, the soul-stealing glint knife. The knife, when used, has an exceedingly restrained aura, its power capable of increasing cumulatively. Combined with Yang Chaniu's old cicada technique, after accumulating power over time, the attack is extremely formidable. The one struck by the knife often has their soul torn and partially seized by the blade, which is extremely sinister." Zheng Jian was just at the Qi refinement realm. His entire soul was seized after being struck by the knife. Having analyzed the situation, Zheng Danlian roared, "Yang Chaniu, you, a proud golden core, sneak attacking a Qi refinement junior, you have no shame. I will kill you, kill you. Lord Zhu, quickly track her down, find the murderer so that I can quench my scythe with the blood of my foe." Zhu Xuanji, however, shook his head. "The Bukong sect's methods are extraordinary, and just like Sun Lingtong, Yang Chaniu struck in a split second. As soon as the time limit was reached, regardless of the situation, she decisively retreated, leaving no clues. How can I possibly chase her?" "Ah!" Zheng Danlian bellowed in fury. Zheng Xuangu's brows knitted together as he sensed something off about Zheng Danlian's mood and quickly stepped beside him to calm him down. "Elder brother, I beg you to keep your cool. Even if Lord Zhu had a lead, it might be intentionally left by the opponent to lure us into a trap. The Bukong sect is still a large evil cult and has been hiding in our fire persimmon immortal city for years, not to be underestimated." At this point, Zheng Xuangu secretly sent a message. "Elder brother, if we confront Yang Chaniu, our Zheng family will provoke two major sects at once." "I beg you to be calm, calm." Zheng Xuangu's earnest persuasion finally made Zheng Danlian rein in his rage. Zheng Danlian turned to Zhu Xuanji, asking bitterly, "Lord Zhu, considering the circumstances, will the royal family not take action?" Ever since the Zheng family formed an alliance, we've been content to follow in the wake, at the beck and call. Previously, my Zheng family mistakenly killed a golden core true transmission of Taking Palace. Now, our clan's genius youth has fallen at the hands of the Bukong sect. Thinking about it now, that so-called Black Shadow Demon Cultivator must be one of the Bukong sect's schemers. How much longer must our Southern Bean royal family tolerate such wicked and murderous demons? If help isn't forthcoming, our clan might as well give our allegiance to City Lord Meng Kun to see how he performs. Zhu Xuanji immediately frowned deeply, his expression turning cold. "Brother!" Zheng Xuangu bellowed in anger, glaring at Zheng Danlian. Then he turned to Zhu Xuanji to offer an apology, stating that Zheng Danlian had spoken out of desperation and distress and did not mean what he said, hoping that Zhu Xuanji would understand and forgive. After venting his frustration, Zheng Danlian realized his mistakes and broke into a cold sweat, staying silent. He refrained from speaking, but Ning Zhu began to speak. Ning Zhu looked at Zhu Xuanji. "Lord Zhu, I implore you to take action and come to our aid. The Bukong sect is truly sinister and ruthless. This time, thanks to my ancestors' oil-slick and smooth talisman, I narrowly escaped with my life. But the information has been leaked. The Bukong sect possess the trap treasure art. Next time, they could very well seize the treasure talisman before they take my life. Even if they don't target me, they are certain to capture any member of the renovation team they set their sights on. Under these circumstances, how can we actively pursue positions within the Immortal Palace? I believe, by acting this way, the Bukong sect has seen through our actions and does not want us to secure any positions in the Lava Fairy Palace. By doing so, they would surely weaken their own control over the palace." After Ning Zhu's speech, the faces of the 4 golden core cultivators present all showed difficulty. From their perspective, City Lord Meng Kun had instigated an open conspiracy by promising lucrative rewards for maintaining their current positions. Under such a blatant scheme, the cultivators must strive to secure their positions and take control of the Immortal Palace, which would be beneficial for the overall situation and cause no harm. Additionally, this plan would kill 2 birds with 1 stone, potentially splitting the 3-family alliance. Earlier, Zheng Jian delivered an ultimatum to Ning Zhu, and the conflict that arose between the Zheng family and the Ning family was precisely the result of this open conspiracy. The Bukong sect, clearly unwilling to let the Southern Bean country parties control the Immortal Palace positions, took immediate retaliatory action. Their method of reprisal was quite straightforward. They targeted and killed members of the renovation team. The renovation team, at all levels, consisted of trial disciples vying for positions within the Immortal Palace and enjoying certain advantages. However, these disciples typically only had Qi refinement realm cultivation, and their combat effectiveness was weak, making them easy targets. The reason the golden core cultivators felt troubled was simple. Their position was too passive. If they guarded the renovation team, they would be drawn into expending their own energy. Even if they used the renovation team as bait, as long as the Bukong sect refrained from attacking, they would still be dragged into expending resources and manpower. And if they chose to do nothing, how could the golden core cultivators explain to their own family members? They were, after all, from the righteous path. The troubles of the golden core cultivators did not hinder the retrieval of Zheng Jian's body. Before long, elder of the Zheng family, Zheng Hua, personally took charge, maintaining stability and reassuring everyone. His first act was to hold a simple memorial service for Zheng Jian. All members of the Zheng family's renovation team participated in the mourning ceremony. "Big brother! Boss!" Many looked at Zheng Jian's corpse with reddening eyes, shouting in grief as if that could bring him back to life. "Woo woo!" Some wanted to weep bitterly but clenched their teeth and forcibly held back. Zheng Hua stood beside the coffin, his face dark with sorrow. It was too painful. The losses suffered by the Zheng family were deeply felt by Zheng Hua, Zheng Jian. This promising member of the family was not just talented, but moreover, he was valued for his character, leadership capabilities, and his ability to judge the situation and more. He was well regarded, and in the eyes of the main line of the Zheng family, Zheng Jian would at least have become a powerful family elder. But now, he had fallen. He hadn't had the chance to grow up. A sense of immense regret and agony filled Zheng Hua's heart. As a family elder, he had always had high hopes for Zheng Jian, looking forward to his future. But now, Zheng Jian, lying in the coffin, had no future. Suddenly, a Zheng family cultivator approached and reported to Zheng Hua, "My lord, Ning Zhu of the Ning family requests an audience, saying he would like to pay his respects to old brother Zheng Jian." The renovation team members nearby started to clamor upon hearing this. He has the nerve to come. If it weren't for the need to speak with him, would old brother Zheng Jian have even left the house? Why did that vile Yang Chanyu only kill the boss and not him? This guy had colluded with the Bukong sect, and now he's been absolved by Zhuge Shuenji, making it ashore successfully. What's this about renouncing darkness for light? HMPH, it's likely he's still plotting with the Bukong sect. This time, he's targeted our brother Zheng Jian. Upon hearing that members of the renovation team were talking more and more outrageously, Zheng Hua shouted coldly, "Enough! Swallow these groundless speculations back. I know at this moment you all are filled with grief and anger, but do not let these emotions cloud your judgment. Remember, you bear the Zheng surname and carry the honor of our Zheng family. Don't give outsiders a laugh. Please invite Ning Zhu inside." Ning Zhu walked into the hall. At a glance, everything was covered in white mourning cloth. Zheng family cultivators lined up on both sides. Some held their necks high, eyes tightly shut, silently shedding tears. Others knelt on the ground covering their faces, burning paper money. Most turned their heads to stare at Ning Zhu with anger. Zheng Jian's presence had been greatly esteemed in life, and his death had united the Zheng family renovation team in both grief and rage, evoking a sense of mournful soldiers. Ning Zhu could not help but remember how these people had dared to confront and charge at the Golden Core level Yang Chanyu. At that time, Ning Zhu was deeply moved. Zheng Jian truly had won people's hearts. The valiance of the Zheng family was clear to see. The air was filled with hostility toward Ning Zhu from everyone in the Zheng family. With a face full of sorrow, Ning Zhu walked to the coffin. First, he paid his respects to Zheng Hua, then stood in front of Zheng Jian's body, silent. His expression solemn, eyelids lowered, as if silently feeling the residual warmth of the departed hero. A gentle breeze fluttered the hem of his robe, and Ning Zhu slowly opened his eyes. At this moment his eyes were red, revealing endless grief. "Brother Zheng Jian," Ning Zhu cried out sorrowfully, breaking the dead silence of the hall. "Little brother remains in this world while you have departed. From now on, the sun and moon will both be distant, heaven and man forever apart. At this moment, my heart feels as if it's being torn apart, the pain severing my liver and intestines." Ning Zhu wailed, kneeling down, beginning to sob uncontrollably. "Woe is me, brother Zheng. Recalling the time we jointly refined the mechanical monkeys, your strategies profound and far-reaching, my craftsmanship assisting, our cooperation seamless, resulting in a masterfully crafted mechanism. Your unmatched talents, I hold deep admiration. Having you as a friend was indeed a blessing of 3 lifetimes. Alas, brother Zhang, again recalling the trial obstacles, I stood with you side by side overcoming enemies, hand in hand breaking through barriers. Though the enemy was fierce, united in heart, we were invincible. Despite the setback due to Zio Huey, comfort from you focused on heroic spirit rather than gains or losses, which finally relieved my heart. Alas, brother Zhang. Though we both toiled for our respective families, our hearts and intentions were aligned, having an agreement. I was willing to concede our positions in the hospital. In return, you would offer substantial gold. Now this person is gone and promises are void. My heart burns with pain. Burning indeed. Ningzhu tore at the front of his robe, tears gushing like springs, his cries loud and heart-wrenching, the pain piercing his heart. Seeing Ningzhu's sincere expressions and intentions, everyone in the hall was visibly moved. Many people greatly reduced their hostility, starting to cry. Even those few who remained skeptical about Ningzhu were now touched by the overwhelming sorrow and grief, silently shedding tears. Crying voices merged, gradually increasing. Ningzhu suddenly raised his tone. "Brother's death shall not be taken lightly. As a little brother, I must avenge you. Numerous brothers of the Zheng family in this hall, we must avenge you." Amidst their grief, these words aroused the onlookers' hatred and all roared in response. "Avenge, avenge! I swear to kill Yang Chanyu within my lifetime. I vow to slaughter the entire Bukong sect. Zheng Hua trembled continuously, hearing his nephew's increasingly excessive comments, whose emotions were now completely stirred by Ning Zhu. The reason why Zheng Hua had been urgently dispatched here was partly to protect the renovation team and partly to stabilize the situation and the people's hearts. Ning Zhu's cries had turned the hall into a fervor, and the situation seemed on the verge of losing control. This forced Zheng Hua to speak out forcefully once again. Revenge is a must. But look at yourselves now, each at the Qi refinement realm, not even in the foundation establishment stage. How can you possibly kill a golden core? Seek revenge now. Is it revenge or is it suicide? With significant authority, Zheng Hua's words silenced the young cultivators in the hall. In the ensuing silence, Ning Zhu's body shook as he stood up. He faced Zheng Hua and bowed. Elder Zheng Hua. Previously, Brother Zheng Jian had almost finalized discussions with me. Most of our personnel were to withdraw from competing for hospital positions, retaining only a few spots, while your side would receive a substantial amount of gold as compensation. Brother Zheng Jian is a man I respect. Although he is gone, I am still willing to do what I can. How to exact revenge? At this point, Ning Zhu stood erect, arms hanging down, surveying all around. He then continued, although we are merely in the Qi refinement realm, we also have our unique method of revenge. He raised his fist, his voice resounding powerfully. If the enemy does not want us to obtain positions in the Immortal Palace, we will ensure it happens, thwarting the enemy's plans. I am willing to assist the Zheng family, personally intervening, helping every member of the Zheng family renovation team with repair tasks, speeding up the cultivation of cultivators in the hall, ensuring you all enter the hospital and obtain physician positions sooner. Also, I hereby promise all of you, going forward, the focus of the Ning family renovation team in obtaining positions will never be the hospital. Although the Ning family has obtained some positions in the hospital, I swear on the honor of the Ning family, our positions in the hospital will not be elevated. With these words, the entire room was moved. Zheng Hua also regarded Ning Zhu with newfound respect. After waiting for Ning Zhu to leave, the Zheng family cultivators exchanged views, significantly changing their impressions of Ning Zhu. I didn't expect Ning Zhu to be so responsible. Such noble integrity, I misunderstood him. HMPH, even if he hadn't done this, couldn't our Zheng family still defeat the Ning family and take over the medical hall? Don't underestimate Ning Zhu. Only Brother Zheng Jian among us can suppress him. I think I misjudged Ning Zhu before. He didn't have to do this, but he did. He just mourned the leader, weeping bitterly. It seems that although he and the leader came from different families, heroes cherish heroes, and they had become confidants. Ning Zhu returned to his temporary residence and paid his respects to Ning Jiufen. Before he acted, he had already reported to Ning Jiufen. Ning Jiufen said, his expression revealing success, "Do you truly want to help the Zheng family like this?" Ning Zhu solemnly responded, "Elder, that's what I think. Firstly, Zheng Jian indeed distracted the firepower for me. If Yang Chanyu had made a move on me first, how many strikes could the treasure talisman withstand? I owe my survival to his contribution. Secondly, the feud between my Ning family and the Zheng family over the medical hall is still unresolved. Thirdly, by making this happen, I can gain much reputation on the righteous path. And if I didn't do this, given the Zheng family's dominance and the spirit of their grieving soldiers, they would still have pushed back my Ning family. Fourthly, allowing Zheng family cultivators to occupy positions in the medical hall is also good. Don't forget, the Taking Palace and Bukong sect are enemies of the Zheng family. Perhaps in the future, there will be opportunities." After listening to this analysis, Ning Jiufen finally showed a joyful expression and stroked his beard. "Very well. Such a young age, yet your considerations are thorough. Bukong sect wants to completely contain your actions. Yang Chanyu attacking Zheng Jian first must have sensed the treasure talisman on you. After all, she's a disciple of Bukong sect and is very adept at sensing treasures. And since this treasure talisman wasn't refined by you and couldn't be absorbed into your body, its aura was always leaking, which makes its discovery quite normal. Therefore, you don't need to be so grateful to Zheng Jian. Blame it on his family's two golden core ancestors for not caring enough about their own genius cultivator, providing too few or insufficient protective items." Ning Zhu suddenly realized and showed an enlightened expression. "I see." With this, he had dealt with both the Zheng family and Ning Jiufan, clearing the way to openly assist the Zheng family. Ning Jiufan then said, "Give me that oil-slick and smooth talisman, I will replenish your mana. I'll also bestow upon you another talisman, called the Water Fish Movement Talisman. Though it lacks spiritual nature, after being refined with essence blood, it can still be used reluctantly. In a situation like today, when the oil-slick and smooth talisman is triggered, use the Water Fish Movement Talisman. It will perfectly complement the oil and water vapor, significantly increasing your speed and agility, which is just right." Ning Jiufan didn't need Ning Zhu to remind him. He had already taken the initiative to provide him with more life-saving means. After all, the downfall of Zheng Jian, a genius cultivator, was imminent. In the following days, Ning Zhu kept his promise, personally aided the Zheng family renovation team, promoted their merits, and quickly helped them secure positions as physicians in the medical hall. During this time, Ning Zhu visited the serious injury treatment room and retrieved a new spirit box. Yang Chanyu had seized Zheng Jian's soul. After it fell into Sun Lingtong's hands, it was refined by the cremation Prajnaparamita, soul-resolving scripture, and purified into a spiritual nature. Since it was just the soul, the spiritual nature was only at 30%. Ning Zhu successfully crafted a mechanical ring, storing Zheng Jian's spiritual nature, and wore it on his left index finger. Ning Zhu sought after items belonging to Xiao Hui and Zheng Jian, while also caring for the Ning family, making arrangements for them to take positions in the Five Elements turret. He also reached an agreement with Zhou Zeshan to help them quickly take over the command platform. This earned Ning Zhu substantial rewards. At the summit of Fire Persimmon Mountain, in the depths of the cloudy mists, Meng Qiu's eyes shone brilliantly as he again performed the divine skill, Mountain Gaze. Great Wind Talisman, Yunyang Talisman. A great wind arose, clouds flying. Sitting atop the mountain, he listened to the pines sound. Meng Qiu's view suddenly changed. Immense flames blazed, and the dragon turtle, mountainous in size with an immortal city on its back, trod upon cracked paving stones, raising its head to the sky with a long roar. The night sky was pitch black, a colossal mystical bird emanating lightning, circling and dancing, nearly swooping down. A massive tree, tall enough to touch the sky and tread the earth, extended its branches and roots deeply into the dragon turtle, piercing even deeper than before. The dragon turtle was weakened, lava-like, vibrant red blood fire flowing from its rooted wounds. Its situation was perilously unstable. The broken rock allowed its lower body to plunge into searing magma, with a severe tendency towards submersion. Meng Qiu strained his eyes, tears of blood streaming down. How is this possible? Why? Why can't I see Bukong Sek's Chi Fortune? Where has the Chi Fortune represented by Sun Lingtong and Yang Chanyu gone? This was the second time Meng Qiu had employed this divine skill. The first had been after the mayhem of the Golden Core battle. Both times he had failed to see any Chi Fortune of Bukong Sect. This baffled him. Suddenly, the magma erupted violently, forming a huge tidal wave. The scorching magma formed a whirlpool, fiercely sucking and dragging the dragon turtle down. The dragon turtle cried out in anguish, desperately trying to crawl out, but only sank deeper. Meng Qiu, watching this scene, immediately forgot his previous question, his face tense with gravity. The terror of the flame demon beast tide begins to show. Meanwhile, in the real Fire Persimmon Mountain, a nascent soul-level runaway fire snake let out a prolonged hiss, emerging and heading straight for the Lava Fairy Palace.